Greetings, brothers and sisters. Pull up a chair. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black, back with you all here again. And a program I've been trying to do for the last couple of weeks, actually, before I've gotten derailed, but we're going to go ahead and get on with it here tonight. I want to have a conversation with you tonight about why it is, or if it should be, a man should be in control and authority. And I think it comes down to a couple of minor things, but a couple of major things. For those of you who are unaware right now, the average rent around America is over $2,000 a month. The average rent is around $2,000 a month. That is not a joke. $2,000 a month. I remember when I was a kid, it used to be a whole lot lower. Now, you used to only see that number 2,000 in places like Manhattan. And then when I was in high school, Manhattan, and then Los Angeles. Now it is the median rent around America now, $2,000 a month. Ready or not, here it comes. And if you thought things were bad before, wait till you see. Maybe if you don't need to buy a house, maybe you can buy a car. But with the prices of the cars right now, you'll be living in that son of a gun, because average new car prices have hit a record high of $46,259. Right now, there are several models from manufacturers like Ford and Toyota. They're entry-level models for $20,000. The economy ones, those aren't even available. They're not even making those. So the average new car price right now is $46,000. That used to be a fully equipped car. Now that's just the average price. That's the average. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So under these circumstances, it really just begs the question, what kind of man are you going to need to be with? Because the most important decision a woman will make is the quality of man that she's with. And what kind of man do you need to be? Because right now, it's scary out here. Right now, it's scary. And a lot of fellas are asking themselves a lot of questions. I did that here for a purpose. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our guests here. So who I have joining me here tonight is Jill and Cynthia. I want to welcome both of you here to the business. Jill is just pretty in general, and Cynthia is a barber, but not just any barber, by the way. Now, just to go into background just a little bit here, you're both Dominicana, you're both from New Jersey, that New York, New Jersey area. So I don't know how in the world I keep getting I keep meeting you all. You're all over the place, but I'm glad I guess we just keep running into you all here. So first thing I want to talk about here. One of you is married, one of you is not. Jill, you are married.
Yes, I am.
Cynthia, you are not.
No.
Okay. It's the year 2022. Things are more expensive than they've ever been. So I just want to come right out of the gate and ask the question here. Ladies, how much control do you think a man should expect in a relationship today? How much, under these circumstances, how much?
I would feel like it should be equal. Like the guy should just know from the jump that it's something equal from the both of us, and not just him being in control or just me all at it.
Yeah, I sort of agree with that. I feel like the roles and the responsibilities, especially with the finances, should always be, I pick up where you lack and vice versa. I don't think it should always be, the man has to pay the rent and this and so on, so forth. I feel like we're progressive at this time.
Yeah.
Progressive. That is a mighty big word in that regard. Progressive. I mean, progressive when you're looking at car note of $46,000. That's progressive there. I mean, tell me all the areas here. Let's go ahead and deal with that first. I know everybody's chomping at the bit to hear this part, but let's go ahead and deal with that part first. When you say those words that things are 50-50, I want to start with Jill and go back to Cynthia. Give her a moment to think this over. When you say 50-50 here, do you really mean actual 50-50?
again, are we talking about finances
There
or
you
just,
go.
yeah,
All right.
let's,
There it
I
is. All
want to
right.
clarify that if we're talking
Just
about
wanted to make sure
finances.
you want to stand by that. So thank you very much. Okay, what she say? Wait a minute. Is he counting the literal number 50? I thought literal
Mm,
50. Okay, thank you. Trying this a different way right now. What I'm saying is that if you were, it's easy to say 50% when you're not, are you actually handling 50% of the household bills, expenses, children? Are you actually handling 50% of that financial load now?
I mean, in numbers, I can't really say, but if we're doing bills, for example, in my household, my husband is in charge of paying the mortgage, and I take care of the other bills where I fall, but obviously he makes way more money than I do. So 50-50 sounds a little bit unrealistic.
Okay. You say I take care of, quote, the other bills. Can you
Yes.
give us an idea of what the other bills are?
The car payments, the insurance, the cable, the cell phones, the food shopping, that kind of stuff.
Okay, you take care of all of that?
Yes.
Okay, that must be a hell of a mortgage for it to come out to be 50-50. So we'll come back to that in just a few moments. And Cynthia, 50-50 for you? Really? In Jersey?
Well, that's what I would, want. I actually had someone try to come in, my ex, live with me, and I basically tried to do something where, all right, we're gonna pay half with the rent, and then you pay groceries, and then I pay like the light bill, electricity, that stuff, like the
How'd
bill.
that work out?
He's broke.
You knew that when you brought him in, though, didn't you?
I was trying to think that bringing him in, he could get a job and then let it, you put your part in, but he couldn't do that. So, and I brought him into my house. So my current situation is I'm living in an apartment by myself. So I'm doing all of this by myself, and rent is expensive here in Jersey.
Yes,
Hmm.
it is.
Yes, it absolutely is. It's getting even
So,
worse. But here's the thing, though. You didn't. Did he have a? Obviously, he didn't have a job when you said you were going to move him in. So,
well, he had a job over there. So I would figure that he had some type of savings.
oh hell,
Like,
slow down. Wait a minute a second. We're being vague. Over there. Define over there.
where he lived was in yeah, I didn't want to put him, like,
Okay. Was he a U.S. citizen?
yeah. He lived in Jersey too, but like
He
uh
was in a different part of Jersey.
different part of Jersey where rent is not as expensive, but he had a job and he
Oh,
was doing his own thing. So I figured, since you're always in my apartment, wasting the light, all this extra stuff in my apartment and overstaying, since we live like an hour and a half away from each other, then why not, okay, since you wanted to move in, I'll let you move in. But I understand that you don't have a job right now. So 1 month, okay, but then afterwards you gotta pick it up, get a job, and then you gotta pay me half something, but it's like he didn't even give me nothing. So that's when I was like, all right, you gotta go back to your mama's house. I'm not your mama.
okay. Slow down. Just so I can make sure I got the timeline correct here. So this fellow was living with his mama.
Yeah.
And he was such a great catch that you said, you know what? You shouldn't be living with your mama. You should be living with me.
I didn't say that. He more of wanted to. He brought it up, and then
Okay, man. Unless this was a home invasion, you invited him in. So
I at first I curved it. I was like, no, like this is too soon. Calm down. And then since I saw he was overstaying and like really wasting all my food and electricity and stuff, then and water, I'm just like, okay, we are trying to work on our relationship and better it, and we want to take each other more serious. So let's give this a chance. Why not? But
that's why. Well, can we give employment a chance first of all? Because here's my thing about it is, I'm just saying he was living with his mom before he got with you,
but
right?
he was like underneath. Like they had like a little, I guess, duplex, a little house downstairs that he was living there, paying 600 a month.
Okay, so he wasn't even actually living in the house. He was living
So
under
he
the house.
wasn't really in their house, but he was always in their house. Do you get me?
Yes, he wasn't actually in the house. He was under the house, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just saying that was his position in life at the time right there. Look, the bottom line is some fellas need to wait until they get their act together to talk about entertaining the company of a female, okay? Some of them got to do that, but case in point, though, Sin, I gotta let you hold this L for just a moment here. He didn't have his act together over there, and then you said, okay, let me bring you over here before you get it together.
I mean, I thought he had it kind of together in the bank.
How you figure that?
Jason, can I say something?
Yes, Sin. I mean, Jill.
I mean, in her defense, I've been there, done that. So
I know.
it's kind of common. We have this idea where, you know, we see potential and we hope that, you know, they change and, hey, I'm going to help you grow. And because I feel like what a lot of men think is, oh, they meet somebody and, you know, if she doesn't help me, then all of a sudden you're a gold digger. You're just looking for something from me. Versus us, we're like, hey, you know, let's go 50-50. I'll build you up. You build me up. And it doesn't always end up, you know, it doesn't always end up.
Here, I'm going to come to that in just a moment here, but because I want to ask a question that dovetails off that. But Sin, first though, obviously there was something so great about him that allowed you to move him in with you when his money not being right and his status not being right. So what was it you saw that was valuable enough that you were like, yeah, I'm living by myself right now. Let me bring you in.
It was the bond, the love that I thought I had with him.
How old is he?
Nah, no comment.
Give me a ballpark range. How much older than you he is?
He's younger than me.
Cynthia.
Cynthia.
I gotta be like your daddy now. Cynthia.
Yeah,
really?
Exactly.
You really?
Friends, he lied to me.
He did not lie to you.
He
lied to you when he was moving in?
No, he lied to me about his age after, like, I already, you know.
Okay, what I'm saying is that when you told him come live with me, you thought he was 30?
No, I already knew, you know.
Okay, thank you. So whatever the lie was, you reconciled that. So remember, in court, Jill will tell you when you get separated, if y'all two get back together, the clock on separation starts over. You can't claim you didn't reconcile. So you knew what was going on when you moved him in.
You know what's funny? This
ain't funny, but go ahead.
I did take him to court and I won.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll have a chance to talk about that, too. She did take him to court, y'all. So trust me, it gets messy and messier. So you all thought your relationships were bad. Wait till you see this one jump off. We're going to come back to Lothario there in just a moment here. But Jill, about potential, what is it that you're seeing in a guy that has you, quote unquote, bet on his potential, that you're saying, okay, I'll wait? What is it exactly you're seeing?
Honestly, when you first start getting to know someone, and I feel like this pertains to everyone, male and female, people pretend well, and it's always the honeymoon stage, and it's always, you know, I love you this, and I promise you this, and I'm this way and that way, and it's not until you're really embedded in the relationship, or they move in, or that kind of stuff, where you start seeing who that person really is. And sometimes, like in Cynthia's case, it ends up being a little too late. You know, now they're living there, and now you're telling them like, hey, you said you were going to do X, Y, Z. Turns out they don't. And then at that point, it turns into, you know, what it wasn't supposed to be.
Okay, can we just be honest here? Cynthia, he was cute and good in bed, and she was just like, okay, he'll be closer to me now for convenience sake. Can we just say that's what it was? He had swag, and let me get him, he'll be closer to me. And because he's in a socioeconomically compromised position, you feel emotionally safe because he can't flex on you. Can we just be honest, Cynthia? Can we just
it wasn't even that. To be honest, he wasn't even my type when we met.
Clearly he was, but go ahead.
He wasn't. It was the bond. It was really our bond. And I was like, oh, wow, you know, like we could be friends. And then he was like, you're going to be one day. And he was just really like, you know, persistent and really making me feel comfortable and like, you know what, let me give this a try. So I really looked past all, you know, all those things that I normally look in a guy. And
How many kids does he? How many kids does he have?
He doesn't have any kids.
Okay, he ain't claiming any, but okay, fine. You know better than that. You know better than that.
Doesn't have any kids.
Okay, but you keep talking about this bond. I'm trying to figure out. We were friends, Cynthia. Men and women aren't friends.
What? I disagree. I feel like there should be a best friend, first, that level. You should have that friendship, and then it should be more. Like my partner, I want that to be my best friend.
Okay. Here's the problem with what you just said, okay?
That picture?
No, here's the problem with what you just said. The problem with what you just said is this. This is the problem with what you just said. Men are not going to be friends with this, okay? And you know that. We're not going to be friends with that old song, We Can't Be Friends. Yeah, we can't be friends. Not at all. So you know this. Tell me about your male friends.
That was the bikini haul, and it did great.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm just saying, by the way, there's not going to be a lot of friendship going on here. So, in all honesty, if he saw that, what kind of friendship did you think he had in mind?
I actually met him before that. I did that while I was with him.
Okay, I'm very glad to hear that. That was what I'm saying is that's your personality. That's who you are. If dudes know this, I'm just trying to say, if that's the way if you're presenting that way, and that's fine, you can do that. What kind of friendship do you think a man's looking for? I'm gonna ask again.
I feel like I have actually a lot of male friends, but obviously, first, I think they really want to see if they could get it. I feel like all guys want to just first test it out, to be honest. So it's like, is it really their friends? There's a few that respected and didn't even try. But there was also a lot of guys that I've came across that was, trying to see if they could smash, and then they didn't get that. So then they're like, oh, she's actually a dope chick. Like, I really, like you as a person. Mm-hmm. Like you're mad cool. So then it's like, I put them there. But say if I was ever like, hey, you wanna, I feel like there will be those few that would definitely take that opportunity. And then there's some that
I wonder why.
Are you okay? Like, what's wrong with you? This isn't like you.
Okay. If you all like tonight's program, give me a thumbs up in the chat room and hit the likes button for me, because I got as many questions as you all do. If you don't like it, I'll just wrap things up here in a couple of minutes and you all can go back and go watch Family Matters or whatever. So go ahead and hit the like button if you like tonight's program here. And we could go on for a while about that. But Cynthia, how much control did this fellow want to have in the relationship?
Oh, he wanted to have full control. Like, there was a time he told me, he's like, you know how the dog like pees on the pole? He's like, you're my pole. Like, I was just like, what the heck? Like, you want that much control? Like, he didn't want me saying, like, if someone compliments me, he wanted me to be basically the B word, like to just shut them down. Just anything right away. He just, he really wanted me to stop doing my music videos. And I told him, I was like, you met me doing these things, like doing music videos, modeling. So you can now tell me that I need to stop my source of income because you're insecure.
Music videos, modeling.
Yeah, a video vixen. So, like you watch music videos and there's like those models acting cute, stuff like that, or seductive, or acting like the guy is awesome. Like, that's all an act. We're doing that obviously for the music video, for the show. But you obviously have unprofessional girls that definitely try to, with the artists and stuff, and don't take their job too serious. But I took it serious. I got my money and I left. I did what I had to do and then I left. And then I would always communicate with him the time. And then there's times where he would even be in my apartment. So there was no times that I had to hide with what I was doing. It's just.
But he wasn't okay with it.
Yeah, he wasn't okay with it. But he knew my personality. And I also do skits, as you can see. Those are skits for Instagram. And he also did skits too. So I thought that he had a very big understanding to what I do.
But his skits don't involve shaking his butt cheeks. I think that'd be a big difference.
No, but he also had an OnlyFans, so I think his dick print did have a matter to do with it, right? I didn't stop him from his bag, so he can't stop me from mine.
Cynthia, You are the gift that keeps on giving. Okay, so let me get this straight because this Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb thing keeps getting longer and longer. So you got with a younger dude from out of town, living with his mom, not employed, and he has an OnlyFans.
Yeah, but he wasn't over here like showing this, the schmeat. Well, that I know of, but I went on his profile and I've seen, and I didn't see any of his stuff. It was more of like, as weird as it sounds, other people's stuff.
Y'all, some of my more sensitive recent guests get upset when I summarize things like that, but I'm not putting words in people's mouths. I'm just saying, thank you for giving that to us. He's younger, unemployed, hasn't accomplished anything, living with his mom, and he's the one with the OnlyFans, not you.
No.
He's the one with the OnlyFans.
I'm not gonna lie, we both had it.
At the same time.
Yeah, but
you thought y'all were friends.
We were doing the same thing though. We were basically teasing, finessing.
A power couple.
And then we even made content together too. But like it wasn't like pornographic. It was just like making out, like this like seductive, but like psych, you thought. Oh.
Okay. Well, I certainly wouldn't want anybody to get the wrong idea about that because truthfully speaking though, Cynthia is a very accomplished person here. So there she is shaping the guy up and shaping the girl up. So everything, and like I say, and she does cut hair. So anybody up there in that New Jersey area, there's another satisfied customer right there. Very satisfied customer. Oh, a very unsatisfied customer. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn him off. I'm sorry. Very unsatisfied customer just pulled up. But in any case, what I'm saying here is that, so he wanted authority in the relationship. He wanted to be able to tell you what you were doing for a living, what you're doing to make money. And what did he have? At any time, did he actually have a regular job at any time?
It was like towards the end of the relationship, once he went back home, he ended up getting plugged into, I don't know how he did it, but he got, I guess, one of those people who, I don't know what they're called, the ones that collect the urine, like in one of those labs.
Okay. She doesn't want to say how young he is, but she just said that. So really?
He got a job though. That's what I'm saying. He got that. And then he got a job at a factory for like a day. And then Amazon.
Was this while you two were still together?
He and then he was also on Instagram.
Whoa. Don't butt up. Was this while you two were still together?
Yeah, but when I first met him, he had like a stable income. And then he lost all of that basically, and then he lost his social media, and that's how he was making a lot of money from as well. So it just went like all downhill for him.
Jill.
Yes.
Jill. Defend this foolery.
Listen, I was blinded.
No, you were not.
Yes,
you were
I was
exactly you were getting exactly what you wanted.
No,
you know what the killing part about all this is? The killing part about all this is there is some nerd out there. There is some dude who, I mean, he was just Mr. Own It. You're 25 years old. There was some fella over the last 5 years you went to high school with. You curbed them, you stiff-armed them and everything so you could get this guy. Mr. I'll pick up the urine because I won't pick up a job. That's the real sad part about this. And then finally, oh yeah, and by the way, I had to take him to court. Oh really? Tell us more. Tell us more. There's a whole bunch of heartbroken dudes out there.
Keep touching me.
These guys literally would throw rose petals. They would walk you through your car every day for you to go to work. Not like they appreciate that. They would throw rose petals at your feet. Not like she would be swooned about that. And this guy right here is like, yeah, no job, no jacket, no coat, not required.
We overlook that stuff. It
Who's
happens.
we? Who's we?
Women. It happens.
You're happily married. You're happily married with 2 kids. Who's we?
3.
Okay, who's we?
But I was once there.
No, you're not.
She was once there.
I was once there. I've had
how many years ago? How many years ago, Jill?
Like 12.
Okay. No, that was before you were 25, though.
Stop it.
But that was before you were 25. That's going to be closer to around 2022. So that was a ways before that. So she woke up early.
I learned. So now I will definitely come correctly if a guy's not, showing me all those. If they're showing me red flags, basically, I'm going to leave.
Okay, define for me red flags at this point.
At this point, first of all, do you have a job?
Really?
Do you have a job? Yes, you need a job because look what just happened to me.
Okay, but do you understand what the real problem is with that? The real problem with that is how are you going to demand more of the next man than you did the last one?
No, it's not that I'm demanding more, but it's like,
yes, you are.
Do you have your thing, your stuff situated? Are you stable?
Yeah, the last guy. How long were you with your ex?
What?
How long were you with your ex?
A year and like 4 months.
Okay, a year and a third. So the next guy is going to be required to do more. Old boy got to lay up for a year and a third, most of it at your place.
No. He wasn't at my place for like a year. And
how long was he there?
He was at my place for like towards the end of the relationship.
How long?
So basically, he was here for he started staying in when I first moved, and he was overstaying. So basically, like in those 3 months, the 3 to 4 months, and then they started having a lot of problems. And then that's when our relationship started getting really rocky. At one point, he ended up leaving to Miami. And it was so much things that happened in the relationship that kind of like kept it together and then apart, and then it's just confusing. So that's why it lasted so long. And then me believing, when someone's going to tell me something, and then it like the actions don't back it up. So it's like,
because there wasn't any warning signs, by the way, none whatsoever. There just none at all. It wasn't obvious that this is going to be
the flags weren't red; they were pink at the time, Jason.
They were pink.
They were checkered. No, they were not. They were checkered. Okay, like the Indian, like NASCAR. The guys,
it looks like a carnival at that point. Okay, you want to ride the ride.
Yeah,
that was the problem right there.
You want to ride the ride.
Yes, that was it right there. I'm telling you.
They were pink, and you want to ride the ride.
You want to ride the ride.
How does that keep working out for y'all too? By the way, how does that keep working out? They ride the ride all right, and then the ride runs them over. So now she's gonna try to come back out here and try to go get a square dude. That's what she's gonna. No, she's not gonna want just a square guy. She's gonna want a square dude with his act together, papered up, who will make her a priority.
Yes.
And you're gonna want him to be completely faithful to you.
Of course. If I'm gonna be faithful to you.
Was your ex faithful to you?
No comment.
All right. But so let me get this straight. He didn't have a job. He didn't have any assets. He wasn't productive. And he didn't have to be faithful. The next guy has to have a job, his own money, his own place, and be faithful.
Correct.
But the last one didn't have to do any of those things.
He did, but he just played me. He really.
Okay. Remember what they say about the word but that means that neutralizes everything but you said before. So you say he did. No, he didn't.
He finessed me. I got played, okay?
You got played. Man, you can't get all right.
I got played.
Jill, okay, Jill, I'm trying to go along with this. I really, really am here. So
okay.
How much authority does your husband have?
Something that Cynthia said a little bit before that was kind of triggering. Because when I met my husband years ago, I used to do modeling, urban modeling, like implied nudes, like that kind of stuff. And he was all for it. I would send him pictures. He was okay with it. The second we got together, it was like, yeah, no, you're a representation of me. I don't want you posting this. That's not okay, because now people know you're my girl. And fast forward now, it wasn't until about 5 years ago where I literally had to put my foot down and I said, either I get to be myself, which I initially, started being when I first got with you, that I had to stop, or we're done. And so far, we're managing, and that's why now, you see me a little bit more okay, on social media, nothing too raunchy, nothing too crazy, because obviously I still have kids and a family, but he didn't want any of that. I couldn't post a selfie without him saying, oh, who you posting that for? who you're trying to get to look at you. And it became an issue. So how much control he has now, I put my foot down and I dictate how much control he has right now. And that's my opinion.
So you dictate how much control he has.
Yes.
Okay. Do you see how that could be an issue?
Okay. In what way?
Okay. Let's go back to that 50-50 thing. And we're going to come back to we're going to come back to the financial aspect of it in a moment. I don't even want to talk about finances. Let's talk about that 50-50. You do realize there is no such thing as a male-female relationship that's 50-50. Certainly not in a committed relationship. There's no such thing. And by committed, I'm talking about a man who's serious at all, like serious about you in any scintilla. What do I mean by that? For example, Jill, the local madman or ruffian, sees you at the Circle K and grabs you around the throat. What do you expect? I'm going to say your husband is going to do one of these three options. You tell me which one of the three. Number one, he is going to sit there and call 911. Number two, he is going to scream like a wench. Number three, he is going to attempt to stop said assailant with his bare hands, even at the risk of his own life. Which one of those three do you suspect is going to happen?
Number three.
Okay.
Because I've had it happen, so.
But you realize men get killed every day doing that.
No, understood.
And yet that is what you expect to happen. Not you hope it will happen. Because let me tell you, if something like that did occur and he's over there on the sideline, oh, Lordy, oh, God, I can't believe it. Yeah, I hope he meets another cute chick on the way home because he won't have life very much longer. I'm suspecting he won't be married very much longer. So he might as well go ahead and talk to other women. He's not going to be married much longer anyway. Is that a safe assumption to make?
Yes, that's why I choose number three, because if he did the first one about calling for help, I might die in the meantime. And the second one, if you run away, that's the end of it. Because if I can't feel like you're able to have my back in that way, whether you put yourself at risk or not, then
right. But there's my thing is that at a basic level, finances notwithstanding, that is not an income question. Finances notwithstanding, if your physical safety were in danger, you are expecting this man to sacrifice life and limb. No questions asked. His liability is unlimited. The amount of damage or liability he could suffer is unlimited. That's not a financial issue. So what I'm saying is, at what point is he ever going to demand the same thing of you?
I mean, he's not going to demand it because that's something that I would do. For example, if the roles were reversed and something like that happened to him, you best believe I'm going to grab the nearest, whatever it is, and go help my man.
And do you see that look? Do you see that look on Cynthia's face? That's exactly what it will be. That's a great cartoon caricature, but it's not something that will actually occur. That's the problem. So philosophically speaking, that's a wonderful platitude for you to give, but that's not what's going to happen. If somebody kicks in the front door of that big, beautiful house you got there, and you and your husband are upstairs, I'll be damned if he gets to nudge you and say, hey, Jill, why don't you go see what they did down there? We're 50-50. That's not what's going to occur. You're going to expect him to go see whatever it is, life and limb notwithstanding. Now, you say, well, I'll be behind him. Yes, you're going to be way behind you.
Yeah, I'm going to be behind.
And if something takes him out, Jill is not going to do like in the action movies like Spider-Man and jump over his body and take on the assailant. Jill is going to immediately double back and go the other way.
I'm going to run towards the kids' room.
Okay, but what you're not going to do is run toward the assailant. That's what you're not going to do. So you say run towards the kids' room. You run towards the kids' room, but the assailant is not between you and the kids. If the assailant's between you and the kids, dilemma. So my point is, what you're not going to do is what he was doing. He was going at the assailant. You're going after something else. So what I'm saying is there's no such thing really as a 50-50 relationship between men and women, because at no time are we expecting you to demanding that you liquidate your life at our expense. That no time do we ever envision a scenario where it's like, okay, now something happened to you, it's all on you. That's not what we think. And if you did meet a man with such an attitude, you wouldn't be with him for very long.
Agreed.
I just don't think you could tolerate that kind of situation for very long. So by definition, it's not 50-50. It can't be. Notice I didn't say a thing about dollars. Yep. So what I'm saying is that 50-50 is a wonderful concept, but when we talk about a man having authority, do you realize that that is what plays in a male's head when we have these kind of discussions about how much control we should have? You just had a rapper there killed in Los Angeles, PMB, and there are reports that his girlfriend one of the factors might be that she was tweeting where they were. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% what it was or 100% what it could be. I'm just saying I can understand how that would happen. That's how Pop Smoke got. His location got given out on Instagram. Next thing you know, the killers were there. If you don't have that kind of discipline, that can occur. That's the kind of risk that we take. So do you understand how a man's like, hey, I need to tell you what to do on your social media because my safety and well-being is a factor in that. Do you understand? Now that I've explained that, do you understand why a man would think that?
See, but I feel like I understand in that aspect, like, okay, hey, honey, be, careful with posting your location. And honestly, I have a funny story about that. That actually happened to me maybe about a month ago. I went out with a girlfriend of mine, and I tend to post a lot on my story, mostly my close friends, but in my story. And there was a gentleman who who was on my social media for years. I'm talking about my Facebook, my old stuff. I never really met him, but it was just somebody that knew that knew other people around me. And he asked me, he's like, hey, where are you guys at? Like, where are you at? And in my mind, obviously had a drink or two in me, not thinking anything of it. I was like, hey, I'm at this place, assuming he was asking just for future reference so that he could go there later on. Next thing I know, we're like hanging out and he like taps me on the shoulder.
Oh, nah.
Yeah. And I was like, I looked back and I was like, hi. And he was like, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm okay. And then it was like, never again. After that, I blocked him. And it was just like, you don't just pop up. So I had that kind of reality set in. And obviously I told my husband, so I'm okay with him sort of saying, hey, don't post where you're at. But in regards to me posting certain things like, hey, I don't want you to wear a shirt that's low cut because, somebody might be gawking at you or might leave an inappropriate comment. That's for me to determine because I'm not your property. And most men
really?
I am not his property. And I've said that to him multiple times. We could be married. Sometimes he jokes around and says, but I bought the cow. You might have thought you bought the cow. Doesn't necessarily mean that my body, belongs to you and you get to dictate what I do, what I wear, where I go, that kind of stuff. So I feel like, yeah, if you want to be dominant, you want to have control, you want to be like, the protector of the home, go for it. I'm going to follow behind you and I'm going to let you do that. But when it comes to me and the way that I carry myself, that's for me to determine because I'm a grown-ass woman.
Was he aware of this? You all have been together for what, 14, 15 years?
Yeah. About 13.
Was he aware of all this 13 years ago, that this was how adamant about that particular position you were? Because it sounds like that's a new thing.
It is a new thing because as I stated previously, when he met me, I was like 18, 19 years old. And in the time when we started dating, there's a lot of things that I overlooked. The same thing, when he met me, I would go and take pictures and he was like, I don't really want you to do that. I'm like, okay, here I am trying to, be with this person that I love and be respectful and everything else. And me being in my 20s, I'm like, hey, these are things that as a woman or as a future wife, I feel that I need to do in order to, let it be known that these are not important to me. I don't care about posting online. I don't care about this. My relationships mean more to me than whatever it is. And it wasn't until I hit my 30s, like I said, it was about 4 to 5 years ago, where it became like, okay, yeah, no. Like, before, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of stupid things. The things that I would post online, the comments and the stuff that I would write online, I look back and I'm like, whoa.
Right, but here's my thing, though. This is your husband. This isn't just some random stranger on the street.
My husband now.
So taking that into account, that this man has taken you from being just a single female out there by yourself.
Yes.
You're not among those numbers. You actually have a man who is legally committed to you.
Yes.
What he's saying, though, is that do you see yourself as your husband's representative?
Of course.
Okay. So if you are your husband's representative, then that obviously means that you need to represent him well.
Of course. And that's why I say that I refrain from doing certain things. I always question myself before I post something and how that comes across. If you notice on my social media, I don't have any trace of him whatsoever. I post my kids and him and my close friends.
That's great. You said, I always think to myself. I always consult myself.
Yes.
I always ask myself, you're his representative. Just like the company, you're their representative. Do you ask him?
Ask him what?
You said before I post something on social media, I always ask myself, I always consult to myself. Do you ask him before you post something?
No, because I don't feel I need permission. But again, I feel like unless I'm out here posting crazy things, then I don't feel the need to. Because I don't think I post things that are, to that extreme. Now, if you see me like, hey, honey, I got an endorsement from Fenty lingerie or whatever, can I post this? I will ask them, just like I have done with my boudoir shoot. I recently posted a reel where it was like that. I was, half implied, whatever. And I was like, hey, honey, is this okay? And he was like, yeah, fine. Because again, I wasn't, in a thong. I wasn't showing my butt. It was just, here and up.
Shouldn't be showing thongs or butts. Cynthia, you would never do anything like that now, would you?
Nothing against Cynthia. Again, nothing against
Okay,
Cynthia.
Ma'am. Okay, just you already stepping in, caping. Okay. Cynthia has a man, because I'm going to come back to that, Jill. I'm not going to let that go. Cynthia, do you think that you are a man's representative?
I mean, that's their opinion. I don't know. I honestly don't care what people like.
No. I'm asking you, if you're in a relationship with a man, do you see yourself as his representative?
In a way, yeah.
Okay. How exactly do you see yourself as his representative?
Well, it's like I'm not explaining it. With her case is different.
I'm asking you.
I guess then yes, but my man should be fine with me, posting content because that's how he met me,
Right, but I'm just asking the question though. Do you feel that when you're with a man that you are his representative?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. Because that means something. Do you realize that, and we'll come back to the cat later also. I saw you take him off from the other side of the picture before.
Sorry.
I'm like, okay, we'll come back to it. No, you might want to keep him around. No, what I'm saying though is that, do you understand that the amount that a man's willing to risk himself for somebody, do you think that you're going to get the best out of a man if you are limiting your level of commitment? Because when you say things like, this is how much authority he has, do you realize you're also saying that this is the level of commitment that he should have to me?
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, these are the intangibles that we talk about here. Here's the real issue, Jill, and I haven't seen anything on your Instagram that really is, that is really too outlandish. But here's my thing. If it affects his sensibilities as his representative, if that affects his sensibilities, if he's not happy, if that bothers him, he's like, hey, for somebody else, they might be okay with that level of exposure for you. But as my woman who has to sit up here and literally stand in front of bullets for you, that I'm not comfortable with men knowing that, seeing that much of you. Somebody else might be okay with that, but I'm not okay with that. And I'm the guy standing in front of bullets for you. Them other men, they might lay up with you, but they're not going to jump in front of any bullets for you, just me. So I'm not okay with that. Do you understand how if you sit there and defy that and say, I heard that, but I'm my own woman and I don't belong to you. Think about that for a few moments, because when old dude did whatever you were talking about there before, or grabbed you or whatever, could you imagine your husband saying, well, you don't belong to me? Hey, this dude's over here messing me up. Yeah, I get it, Jill, but I mean, you're not my property. So I'm going to call the insurance company to find out exactly how much I should be invested in this. Do you see that that's actually a literal legitimate thing when you say you're not his property? Yeah, you are. You do belong to him. There's a reason why he's risking life and limb. Is for Cynthia over there, it's an academic exercise. She's not going to jump in front of no bullets. She's not going to do that. For a man, you're literally expecting him to do that. We only do that for something we own. We only do that for something that belongs to us. The children belong to us. They're not just little cute people. The kids at the local elementary school, if you're a police officer, that's part of your job. But as far as what I'm going to run to, those children belong to him. There's a reason why he's going to risk his life for them, and maybe not the kids on the other side of town the same way.
So, I mean, in regards to what you said, in regards to somebody that's not going to protect something that doesn't belong to them, you protect things that you love, not necessarily always your property. That's the way that
show me something that you love, that you protect, that you are not already possessive of.
Him. I'm not possessive of him at all.
Okay, so he can sleep with another woman.
No comment.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got that out there. That's perfectly fine. Well, then they got a different type of relationship there. So, however, I still think that has a lot of risk involved in that. Cynthia, you on the other hand, now Jill is married, and the man being physically monogamous to her is not necessarily a deal breaker. You're not, but is it a deal breaker for you, or is it just something you really like?
Wait, what's the question?
Is it a deal breaker for you, or is it something you would just really like?
Was a deal breaker what? I'm sorry.
Okay, she's
I was in my own world.
No, the cat is down there rubbing herself across her toes. I understand. How many boyfriends have you had since you were 18 years old?
I've had 4.
I don't believe that.
Why not? Do you want me to name them?
No, Jason, why don't you believe that? I don't know. I have a suspicion that she's had more than 4 boyfriends in the last few years. I don't 100% know why I suspect that. I don't know why. I
had 4 serious boyfriends that met my family, and I've dated them for either a year to 2 years.
Okay. I guess I'm just skeptical. I don't know. Maybe I saw something that made me think certain things. Okay. 4 guys in the last 6 years, or 5 or 6 years. Okay, great.
I need someone that has a very strong mindset to be with me. And the people that, once I started doing the whole influence and all that content stuff, was with my ex. Before that was like this other guy. I was just getting into it, but he was supportive. It's just we didn't work for other circumstances, and I wasn't out there doing like the content that I was like.
Right.
That.
But what I'm saying is that your last 4 boyfriends, all of them were completely monogamous to you?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I found out later on that some cheated, yeah. But
okay. Well, there's my point. After you found out they cheated,
but that was like either after the relationship, like, oh yeah, like we're
but not
now. So why did I cheat? Because I thought you were cheating on me. It's like, what?
Were they wrong?
No, I wasn't.
Really?
I wasn't cheating. I did cheat on my last though.
There you go.
I mean, he cheated on me, XYZ.
Oh, Cynthia, I gotta remind you all again, you do understand that's not a knock on the men, right? You do understand that's not a knock against them.
What you mean?
Because when a woman, sex is an act of dominance. So when a woman allows herself to be dominated by another man, that means something.
That means what?
Dr. Oz calling. My point is that when a woman lays down, for a man literally lays on top of you, that's literally an act of dominance. That's not just a throwaway feature or a throwaway act. That's an act of dominance. It means something.
Oh, and then there's times I throw him and I'm on top. What are you talking about?
Okay, but it's not even remotely the same thing, because there's a reason why we pay females for OnlyFans and the fellas have to get whatever they can choose. But the point is also, if you're cavalier about that, if just anybody can sleep with you under manic circumstances, then what's the value? If you say, for example, if you're gonna say you cheated on him, let me guess. The guy you cheated on him with, was this a fella you knew already?
No.
This was just somebody you met from somewhere.
I was drunk as fuck, and I did it on his birthday.
Okay. You were drunk and you cheated on him on his birthday.
Yep. And we were together at the hotel, and then I went out and I continued partying, and I should have stayed with him.
Okay. So you left where he was at the hotel. You went out somewhere else, got drunk, and got laid on top of. And on his birthday, you don't know who the guy was. We didn't meet. We met at the bar.
No, I met him
that
It can't be payback.
It wasn't where I wanted to give payback.
Okay, thank you. There wasn't play payback. Thank you very much.
It wasn't play payback. It was more of like, I'm like that, and it just happened. So in a way, where it's like,
no, ma'am, no, it didn't just happen. No, it really didn't. No.
Shit, I don't even remember it, boy.
No, ma'am. Hitting
if you remember, it doesn't count.
No, hitting the button for my panoramic sunroof, that just happened. Being in the hotel and somebody's on top of you, that don't just happen. So no, that really doesn't. So cat hair gets you every time. My real point here is, like I say, definitely that means something though, because do you understand? Like going forward, that tells us the attitude about it. Because now she's like, I'm straight, I'm cool, it's okay.
No, it's not okay. Trust me, it's not. But I was dealing with that. Like, he forgave me. And then we kept always going to that situation. So that was his way of like, okay, I could cheat on you because you did this. And he would forget about like, you told me you cheated on me beforehand. That ended up happening. And then moving forward, we both said we're going to move that to the past. You did wrong. I did wrong. You did plenty on purpose. I did a drunken mistake. Not saying that that's okay, but whatever, to the past. Then
first it was I meant to cheat on him. Now it was a drunken mistake.
I never said I meant to cheat on him. I never said I meant to cheat on him. I did not.
Okay, thank you, Jill. Hey, take notes.
I did not mean to cheat on him. That was not my plan. That was not my intention. Trust me, it was his birthday. What the hell? Why? So then moving forward, he would always use that as a reason to keep cheating and talking to women, because he's like, okay, you're definitely going to do it to me again. And oh my God, it was my birthday. And like, now I like kind of like need to get you back, and then keep doing it. And then I would catch little things like entertaining women and stuff like that. And I would tell him, look, this is the type of stuff. I'm being loyal to you. And we said we're going to move forward and put that stuff in the past. But clearly you can't move on from what happened. It's not fair how I can move on from what you've done, but yet you can't do, like you can't move on from what I've done.
Well, it depends, because I'm just going to be honest. If there are micro behaviors that are reminding him that kind of thing is a real and present danger, yeah, that could happen. Do you see how that could occur if there's micro behaviors that he's noticing? By the way, I'm seeing you all talk about red flags. If he's noticing red flags and behaviors starting to repeat themselves.
But that was just me being me. Like, that's what I've always been doing, That was actually after him, but he didn't like stuff like that. So I stopped twerking because that bothered him.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether it's Jill married or you not. A man is not comfortable at all with his woman revealing herself in the presence of other men. That is an act of that's really an act of vicarious defiance. That's what you do when you're trying to attract a man's attention.
Can I say something?
There you go. She's trying to make sure she shows that ring too. So go ahead.
I'm gonna hide it now. Okay, so as she said before, he had an OnlyFans also. So my thing is, if a man expects me to represent him and be his, like you said before, his representation, to everyone else, I expect the same thing in return. You are not allowed to be on social media with your, or on, with your schlong out or your print or whatever it is, and then I can't be in a bikini or I can't twerk.
Okay, has your husband ever done that, Jill?
Oh no, he didn't have social media until about 3 years ago.
Because we know Cynthia out of line. But I'm just talking about as far as your situation, your husband has never done that. So with that being the case, that wouldn't be something you'd be worried about there in that regard. So in that specific circumstance, a man's not ever, I don't care what the guy's doing. I don't care if he's doing porn. He's not going to be okay with his woman. I mean, we play these games in society, but the bottom line is showing cleavage is specifically to attract male attention. If you've already landed your male, just understand, and you're still doing activities that attract random male attention, what that communicates is I'm still on the market. I'm still available. How does a man fully commit to somebody who's obviously still on the market?
Sorry, go.
Oh, I was gonna say, so what you're implying is the way that a female dresses after she's married, she should be wearing a turtleneck 24/7, because any form of, wearing a bikini at the beach is enticing male attention?
No. Well, I'm not going to necessarily say that. I'm going to say no for me.
Okay.
Because that's me. If you get with me, it's probably going to be okay. But if that's not the man you're with, then that has to be taken into account because he's risking much more than you, which is why I said, if you get in a relationship with a man and he's committed to you, it's never 50-50. We're always risking more than you are. So there's the reason why things like the way you dress and whatnot, you're his representative. Those are the things that make him comfortable taking on that level, that massive level of liability. Just because there are other men it might be okay with, if it's not okay with this one, that matters something. But here's another factor here. I want you to just think about this for a moment for both of you. Okay. And Cynthia, you can text him in a minute. I want you to think about this for both of you. How do you think, and I'm just going to be brutally honest about this, how do you think that strikes other men when they hear you say things like that? That I do not have to adhere to the wishes of the man that I'm with, that he doesn't own me, I'm my own person. How do you think that strikes other men when they hear that?
I mean, it would scare away the ones that clearly wouldn't be able to handle, and then the ones that can, it wouldn't mind. It wouldn't be, I would see it as like, it would lure the ones that are fine with it. And then the ones that are not, it will kind of like, okay, I can't be with somebody like that. And that's fine. That's why I wouldn't be able to be with someone.
I'm talking about the men he would know. I'm talking about his social circle. I'm talking about co-workers. I'm talking about family members. I'm talking about social men that respect him.
They have their own opinion. I don't care, and my man shouldn't care as long as he knows what he got.
Okay.
Everybody's always going to have an opinion, no matter what. You could be, I used to, from the age of 20 until I was about 28, I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't go to bars. I wouldn't hang out, nothing. What did that do for me?
You got
nothing. Oh, she's married. She's not allowed to. That doesn't look, it's unbecoming of a married woman. For who? You don't pay my bills. You don't, whatever anybody else has to say, whether it's a circle, his coworkers, anyone. Again, I try to carry myself as best as I can because I know that I am a representation of him and I expect the same. But you are not going to tell me you cannot do this, you cannot go here, whatever it is. It's just not going to happen.
Let me ask you both here, because I think this is a good opportunity for a teaching moment in this regard. Mm-hmm. Do you all understand how important teamwork is among men?
Yeah. Among just men? Or
yes, among men, men, not women, among men. Do you understand how important, how crucial teamwork is among men? Mm-hmm. Do you know where teamwork originates among men? It's a rhetorical question. I won't have you answer that. Teamwork begins with how well we can trust each other. Mm-hmm. So when we analyze those kind of things about each other, And that's going to tell us how much we should stick ourselves out for them. It's kind of like with your kids. You wouldn't let your kids speak that way and the kids wouldn't want to speak that way, especially once they get older, because the rest of the world is only going to respect you. I mean, this was something that my parents told me.
Okay.
And I've never forgotten this, which is that they were like, you don't disrespect us because you're going to try to defend us if somebody else disrespects us. But the rest of the world is only going to respect us 50% as much as they see you respect us. So if you talk sharp, you talk flippant, the rest of the world's not going, it doesn't matter how highly you respect us. The rest of the world's only going to give us 50% of that. Okay. They're never going to give us as much as you. So how you treat us is going to determine how the rest of the world treats us. Mm-hmm. And I've never forgotten that. As a woman, the only thing a man gets from you is you. Mm-hmm. That's all he gets. D cups notwithstanding, that's the only thing a man gets from you. That's all. We only get you. We don't get your money, obviously. We don't get your protection and provision. We don't get your social status. None of your followers on Instagram do him any good. We don't get any of that. You get the benefit of that. We don't get any direct benefit from that. You can be the greatest employee at your job. That does your employer the grand. We don't get any of those benefits. Mm-hmm. So with that being the point, all we get from you is you. Okay. That is why respect from you carries such a tremendous premium. Okay. So it's far, far different. You get us jumping in front of bullets, and we're supposed to get your deference.
I kind of this is what you're saying. I feel like if a woman has her stuff together and she could be more financially than a man, she would be the one providing that because her man
providing what?
Like, for example, money-wise, I'm a boss. I do a lot of things. I'm a barber. I'm a gamer. I'm a model. I do a lot of things. So financially, I'm good. You know, I will provide for my man if he's providing for me. If you're treating me like a queen, I'm going to treat you like one. Now, for my last situation, I've learned and I was treating him nicely and helping him out. But then I saw that it's not being reciprocated. So then I had to let that go. So now moving forward, I'm going to do with what's equally done to me. If you are treating me like this way, I'm going to treat you like this way. And you make it seem like it's just men that can do that. I would jump, in front of a bullet if someone, is going to hurt my man, if they're, hurting him. I would definitely try to defend. I'm going to grab a stick. I'm going to do something, don't make it just men that would do all that. For us,
as a metaphor, you would. I imagine metaphorically.
But then
be different.
You're saying metaphorically, but then the same thing applies to what you're saying with him jumping and protecting me if somebody breaks in the house. Okay, you're the man of the house. You hear something.
That's not a metaphor.
What do you mean? I'm sorry?
If he's the man of the house, that's not a metaphor. That's literal.
Okay. But then what makes you think? See, I feel like you're saying that physically. Of course, I cannot protect him as well as he can protect me, but I can protect him in other ways.
What other ways can you protect a man physically?
I said not physically. Besides physical, there's other ways that I can protect my man. Okay. I make sure that, my man has things that he needs in regards to whether it be, just his clothes, make sure I'm making his appointments, make sure his uniform's washed, that kind of stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean
that's not protection, that's convenience.
Okay, but then so him protecting me is not convenience. I can't protect myself.
Because protection, you can see the difference there. We wouldn't even call that protection, that would be convenience. Protection is where you're about to get zeroed out. Mm-hmm. I'm about to lose everything. If he doesn't make an appointment, I don't think he's going to lose everything. He can just reschedule an appointment. So that's what I'm saying is that's a little bit different. I'm going to let you finish there, Jill, but Cynthia, I want to come back to what you said, because that's a fallacy. You think that your money matters to men?
I feel like it can matter if I'm very I'm saying financial wise.
Right. What type of man do you think that your income matters to?
All right. I'm not saying I'm a big baller and I'm all rich.
I didn't say that. I'm not saying that. I'm just asking what type of man do you think values your income?
I don't.
Because here's the thing, in the area of the world you live up there and whatnot, even with all those people spilling over from Manhattan, let's just say, for example, you got a guy, he's driving a Mercedes 2022 Mercedes S-Class. Do you think he's really sitting there behind the wheel saying, damn, 25-year-old Cynthia, I sure hope she makes $150,000 a year?
No.
Okay, so there's my point is, what type of man do you think you mentioned about, well, I can, as a woman, we can pay for things too. What type of man do you think is looking for that?
I would say that me having all my stuff together in order, me living on my own, and at my age having the job I have and basically being stable and good, I feel like that attracts a lot of men that really don't have that or are living with their parents.
I mean, well, no, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
A lot of guys at my age don't have that. They're either their mom.
Yes, so, and how's that working out?
But I'm saying I attract like a lot. I see a lot of those guys and even women.
You attract men. You attract needy men who are in a compromised position.
Under, below. Those are the ones leeching on. Not really the ones that are like, balling.
Thank you. So you're holding up your income as an accolade. The only thing that your income has done is attract helpless males.
Okay, but I'm saying regardless, it's attracting people.
No.
I don't care though. Like,
so the quality of man doesn't matter.
No, I feel like it does matter. Yes.
Thank you. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter if you can attract 1,000 men. If they're all hobos, it doesn't matter. Your income does not matter to a man who's financially stable, much less affluent. If that man's affluent, your income is inconsequential. You could be, we use this thing all the time. You could be working the drive-through at McDonald's. You have equal opportunity at that guy driving a Bentley as the chick who works at the Bentley dealership. Both of you are equals because your income, a man's income attracts you. Your income does not attract a productive male. It'll attract an unproductive one. It'll attract a helpless one. It'll attract one who's trying to get out of his mama's house. It will not attract one who's going to buy you a house. It won't do anything to attract him. We don't care about your income. The things we need from you are not financial.
But normally I wasn't caring about financial either, which hence I was with a bum nigga.
Yeah, but the problem is you chose him.
Because of who he was. I didn't look at the bag. I didn't care.
Right.
People who were like not financially good.
But if you were still living with your mom 4 years ago, you would still have access to a higher caliber of male depending on how you behave yourself. Him living with his mom, he struck lightning by getting you. It's not like they're lined up around the corner, around the block, certainly not below a size 12 to willing to do that. So in his case, he got lucky because he got mobbed up with Cynthia. That's not going to be the average male's experience. If he's not productive, he gets Lizzo. Well, he does. That's the way that works. Your income is to a productive male, your income is inconsequential. It doesn't matter. Now, those are what you look for in men. You look for financial productivity and stability. We don't prioritize that with you because we can't use it. It doesn't do anything for us. I mean, it's cute to have, but by you all's admission, you don't want your financial contributions to be essential. You don't want it to be mandatory. You want it to be extra. You don't even want your money to be required by the household. You want it, whatever man you're with, to be able to carry that by himself, and whatever you do is expendable.
Who said this?
Who said that?
Jill, is that an untrue statement?
It is. I mean, you asked in regards.
There you go.
Okay. Let me go back. You said if finances matter to be 50-50. I said he makes more money than I do. And that is a fact.
And that's why you married him.
Whoa. That is not why I married him.
Really? That was not a factor in why you married him.
She said she pays the bills and stuff, and
that was not a factor why I married him. I mean,
your husband's income was not a factor in why you married him. Not a factor at all.
Not a factor at all. When I met my husband,
then tell me. Oh, well, please tell me then. I'd like to hear this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So My husband's a fireman. My husband's been a fireman for 15 years. When I met him, he was beginning to be a fireman with his career. And, every year based on their, their contract, they go up in pay. When I met him, he was making a little bit more than I am now. So it wasn't something that I was like, oh, he makes $60,000-$70,000 a year. This is going to be my provider. This is going to be the man that I'm going to latch on to. No, it's something that's progressively increased, just like I myself have gone up in wages as well. But that wasn't a determining factor on why I got with him. When I met my husband, he was, obviously living outside of his parents' home, but in the home itself, renting the attic. And it wasn't until we got together and he met me that we went and got our own apartment together a few years later. But that wasn't something that were requirements for me. Like, hey, he has to have, X amount of money a year. He doesn't have to have his own house or his own apartment or, all that stuff. Matter of fact, what a funny story was when I first went on my first date with my husband, he picked me up in a beat up old Volkswagen whose fuel thing didn't work. And I recall coming out of my home and I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm in the corner. And I'm like, okay. And I walked and it didn't affect me. I didn't think anything of it. And we've been together for X amount of years. But I do know women that would have took one look at that and would have been like,
okay,
what?
How old was he when he had this beat up Volkswagen?
He is 4 years older than me. I'm 34. So if I met him when I was 18, like early 20s.
Thank you. So you do understand that's an outlier. That's not the typical experience. Obviously, I'm assuming somebody in your household probably vetted him, like he met your parents or something, and say, okay, he's a good dude in that regard. But this wasn't just somebody who stumbled in off of the street and things. And obviously, he wasn't carrying a bunch of red flags. So you got really, I think you already know, you got really fortunate in that regard.
How did you know that though?
Because there's only one type of thing that builds a responsible male. It's not 50 characteristics. There's really only one pathway that builds responsible males. Just one. There's not 50,000. There's just one. We can spot our peers from a mile away because there's only one way he could have ended up like that. So yeah, what that tells me is he appreciates $1. He's been with you the whole time. He hasn't had a bunch of sexual experiences. He hadn't ran the yard like that. Even if he's had the option, it is not a part of his character and his makeup to do that. You're basically like his high school sweetheart, because you didn't even say you all went to high school together, but at that age group, you're close enough. So he didn't get a whole, males usually don't have a bunch of sexual experiences until they get out of high school. The females get to start jumping off whenever y'all want to, but the males don't really get to do that, start prioritizing that until later. So what I'm saying is he won't it's true. It's true.
You sound a little sexist, buddy.
You sound like you guys are angels, like, oh men are just, we look at you guys and don't think about your finances, and we rescue you guys and protect you, and you guys are just, what is this?
That's I actually started, I made the first guy wait 2 years to get with me, and that's when I was turning 18. So no. And then now comes
could a man make you wait 2 years for anything?
What?
Could a man tell you you're going to have to wait 2 years for anything?
Like sex?
Sex, money, a date. Could a man sit here and tell you, okay, you're going to have to wait 2 years that there's something? No, I'm talking about even now. Is there anything that you want from a man that the man's going to tell you you're going to have to wait 2 years for it?
No, because why am I waiting? But
okay,
can we do that as well?
Okay, thank you. There's my point. Is never in your life has a man ever been able to tell you you got to wait 2 years for anything, but you jumped up and said, oh, I made him wait 2 years. You literally cannot say in a single. Okay, but that's female privilege. Men cannot do that.
That's because I was scared and I was young. You were
it's because you're female. You can do it today.
Stopping, doing this stuff when we were young. No, it's the other way around. The men are the ones doing it at 13 years old, 14 years old, while the women are the ones normally waiting.
Jason doesn't think so.
Maybe that's not true. Money, but over there where you're at, it's later on. Over here, they start young.
No, ma'am. What you all are counting is the top 20% of males that you desire.
Well,
The
maybe
bottom, no, there have been, if you all are going to Google it, there have been several studies that have been released now. They're showing that 80% of the males, especially since the pandemic, 50% of the males out here are not having sex at all.
Because they can't get women. Women are not.
Okay, but that's the way it's always been.
I feel like it's also because people are being socially awkward because they don't know how to now speak because they're always cooped up in a house. They don't know how to pick up game.
Well, you know
Jason,
what? You might be correct about that. Those do play a factor in it as well. But the bottom line is the females, you know for a fact, you have a lot more sexual availability than the males around you ever will. Jill, Jill, literally, all Jill has to do is go into her DMs. And she doesn't even get to flew out. Something's going to fly to her. Same thing with Cynthia. All Cynthia has to do is walk out in the hallway. That's all she has to do.
Doesn't mean that we have to take those opportunities. So
okay, you don't have to take it, but the reason why you don't have to take it, but the pressure and the stress ain't on you because you know it's there.
I was gonna say the sexual appeal. If you get it, then it comes easy. If you don't really get it that much, that's when it comes a little difficult. Sorry.
So Jason, what you're saying is then that's why a man would be a little bit apprehensive about how you portray yourself online. Is that
Thank you. If a man hasn't gone through that process and whatnot, he was in high school, he was the average kid. If he had that, he doesn't have a bunch of sexual experiences. Yes, he's very protective of you. It's not like he's been through a bunch of women. Sex is still something that is very important to him, and it should be, because that's the fella who's going to die for you. Let's be very clear.
Yeah, but not every man is like that.
My point is Cynthia's ex is not going to jump in front of too many bullets for her. It depends on what kind of bullet and what kind of gun.
No, he would. He's still trying to come back after everything, but
yeah, he needs a place. He needs a place to stay. But go ahead.
No, he got a place. He got a place. He's well stable, and he got a good, loving family that will help him. But
good. He got adopted. All right, go ahead.
It's just no. Stop doing that. He's good, and he will still come back to me after everything, and I know that for a damn fact. But I cannot no more. Back to what we were saying. I feel like I would rather a guy that kind of went through his whole stage. You already got all that out of you. You tired and you're ready to settle. I don't want someone who didn't get anything at all. And then finally, like, they start seeing, say, all this attention and stuff. And then they're going to want to cheat because they're getting all this availability and these women giving them attention that they never seek before. Yeah. So I would rather it be in a way where a guy got all that attention, got all of it out, and it's just like, you know what, like, I'm just tired of the partying and this and that, and I'm ready to just be with one and settle down. That's what I would prefer.
But that's not the way that men work, though. Well, that's the problem. That's the way that the males that you desire work, because biologically speaking, you all want a male that other females desire. So in other words, he needs to be socially savvy and able to attract other females quickly. Those are the ones you prefer. So biologically, you prefer that, but it comes with problems, because if he's able to quickly attract other females, he's gonna act on it. What you really want is a fella who is competent, first of all. Competent. What does that mean, Jason? He can simply see something through to the end. If he tells you I'm going to become a fireman, he's not coming back to you 2 weeks later talking about, well, you know, the hoses was heavy and it's kind of hot out there. I don't really think I want to do it like that. He's not doing that. If he tells you I want to get a degree, he sees it through. If he says he's going to protect you, he sees it through. Incompetence is what you were dealing with for the last couple of years there, Cynthia. But my point is
that's what I had to deal with, and that's not what I'm with anymore.
But the golden triangle for you all would be competent, aggressive, and faithful.
Can you help
me? A man who has options is going to struggle with that last one.
How do you then know if a man is competent without not really knowing him?
Competence isn't something that takes years to identify. Competence is something that you can identify literally within 7 days. In your case, at your age, you can literally identify competence almost immediately. First and foremost, what does he specialize in? Let me ask you something about your ex there, Cynthia. What was he excellent at? What did he excel at when you first met him? What was it that he was excelling at?
I feel like he was really good at like video editing. And
how do you figure he was really good at it?
By what he created.
Okay. And what was the confirmation from the rest of the world that he was excellent at it? Because
They
excellent
really
isn't your
liked
personal
him,
opinion.
and they really gave him a lot of attention because of his editing skills and because of his humor.
Okay.
I also feel like he's like a really like funny person, so he made content and he was really great at editing, and then he was a great gamer. I thought he was really gonna excel and do those things to keep pushing, and I supported. But he was very lazy, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna give it some of that, and then he would like retract and doesn't want to do it anymore. And then I'm just like, what happened? I'm here
Right.
supporting you. I did a whole setup for you. Do it, do it. I'm there.
Right. And what did I just tell you is the definition of competence?
So that's what I'm
Being
saying.
able to see something through to the end. And what you're saying is like a lot of young men, and I should know I was one, he had a lot of enthusiasm to start something, but he didn't have competence to see it through to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why, Cynthia? You know why? Because when you're 21 or 22 years old and you've got something with a cute face and a round rear end and you have unlimited sexual access to a male, he's like, what do you mean I got to work 40 hours a week? I got food, shelter, and unlimited sexual access to something that doesn't make your eyeballs bleed. Why do I have to work harder just to get the same reward? Now, that's the way it hits the male psyche. You're telling me I got to excel. Jason, what you mean I got to sit up and make $150,000 a year? For what? I already have sexual access to Cynthia. And even if there's something cuter, I don't need nothing cuter. She's good enough. And she's willing to accept me the way I am. Why do I need to stress myself and work my tongue out? I'm already getting everything. I got a roof over my head. I got food in my belly. Why do I got to work harder?
I got out of that. That's why. No.
Right, but the real question is, why did you get into it? And we got into it because that's the way that began.
When I got into it, there was like, it was different, like what I said.
It was not. No, as a matter of fact, it wasn't different because that's what you said. How do you identify competence? You said that he was video editing. I said, where's the confirmation for the rest of the world? Who paid him for his video editing?
Okay, he was an influencer. He was making a lot of. He was making a lot of like content and making brand deals and stuff like that. And he actually put me into it. And I was working with Puma.
When you met him.
So when I met him, he ended up losing then his Instagram page. So that messed up a lot of his, income.
Right. Okay. So I'm saying we can't put lipstick on this aardvark. The bottom line is, if he had the ability to capitalize on those things you're saying, he would have done it. So you're naming things that he could have been excellent at, but he never actually became excellent at them.
Yeah, because he lost it.
Well, no, as evidenced by the rest of the world wasn't paying him anything for it. If he saw it through, maybe it could have gotten to that point. But if you want to identify competence is not potential. Competence is completion, not potential. So he potentially could have been a video editor. He potentially could have been an influencer. Competence is getting the job done.
But then it got all taken away. And then, he had to start from the bottom. So he didn't have as much engagement and following. So that's why he had to then get a job. And I told him, it's okay. Keep doing you and get a job. Focus on you and keep doing what you do. I will be there to support you. Just because you lost all those people doesn't mean you lost me. You get me? So I was showing him and I was there for him that I'm not here because of your name, brand, or whatever. I can care less on who the hell you are. I didn't know you because of that. So I was there for him. And then I didn't see the competence, I guess. But I still stuck by because I was trying to be a supporting girlfriend. Oh, I love you.
And that all sounds wonderful and stuff. And in the abstract, what you're saying makes sense. Certainly you're putting your bid in, and certainly he would have been somebody for you to keep your eye on. Once you tell me you're moving him in with you, we've moved well beyond that at this point. I'm betting the farm on him, because that's the only reason you move a person in is you're betting the farm. This is the one.
I guess he didn't really, like, he moved in, but he had like a whole luggage in here. So
Okay, but the bottom line is the first mistake is he has to move in with you. That's the first thing, because that tells you he's dependent on you. Now, it'd be one thing if you're moving like Elon Musk in. He's usually sleeping on people's couches. That's Elon damn me Musk, or Kanye West, or Matt Damon. He still does that, as I understand. He crashes at his friends' houses. Okay, but this is Matt damn me Damon. You can see who this is. So it's one thing if you confirmed it. In this case here, and I know you're young about this, there's a bunch of young females who listen to me right now. I want them to understand these are emotional cues you all are going off of. What she went off of were all intangibles. We get along. We were friends. He's swaggy. He's got potential.
A lot of emotions, though.
Right, but emotion is intangible.
Okay.
And Jill is at the point right now in her life, because she has to, where she values tangibles. Emotions are great. Things you cannot feel, things you cannot touch. That's nice, but that's not going to serve that. You can't survive on that. The things that really destroy your life are the stuff that you need to be able to put your hands on, and it's not there. And the number one sign that you got somebody who's not competent is they traffic in intangibles. Hey, Cynthia, let's hang out. Hey, Cynthia, let me come over and lay up. Hey, Cynthia, Netflix and chill. These are all intangible items. The next question is, at the end of that, what do we do? What can I lay my hands on that establishes value?
Jason, but I feel like with that being said, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because here we have Cynthia who's not looking at those things, but yet if you look at another female that'll sit there and say, well, I want a man that makes X figures a year, or drives this car, or has his own place, then it turns into, well, what do you have to bring to that man? That man doesn't want you. And then it's like, damn.
Wait, slow down. It depends on the fee. When has that occurred?
With what? With
you say that if we're talking about a guy who is actually worth having, and you bring to him what he wants, how did you end up in this position where he doesn't want you? How does that happen?
Because as you stated before, for example, you told Cynthia, you were like, a man that, makes X amount or this figures or that, they don't need you for any finances, they don't need you for this, they don't need you for that. Okay, so then essentially what I think, or the way that I view it that you're saying, is that men who have these things are not going to look for a female that doesn't bring certain things to their life or value. Is that not
right?
correct?
What we as men are looking for is female competence, and what you bring to us is
potential.
not what we bring to you. No, not potential. The things that make you valuable to us are not the things that make us valuable to you. Your ability to follow my game plan, you don't have to be 40 years old. You don't have to get a degree. You don't have to do any of that. Your ability to represent me well in public, you don't need a 4-year degree for that. You don't need to have dozens of schools for that. That doesn't take 40 years of life training to do. Those are things basically once you get past the age of 12, you should pretty much have it. Everything after that is just tweaking and refining it. But this isn't something that takes a lifetime to learn or understand. What you bring to us is not what we bring to you. I'm not expecting you to be a producer. What I am expecting you to do is be excellent at assisting a producer. Now that you can do. I don't expect you. I've got video editing equipment and cameras and everything else. I'm not expecting you to sit up here and edit my movies for me, but I certainly do expect you to be able to understand what I do. That doesn't take a 5-year degree. I don't expect you to do what I do, but I expect you to take a genuine interest in it, because this is the means by which I'm valuable to you. Your husband's a firefighter, and maybe you wouldn't know the difference between asbestos and asphalt, but you should understand what it is. At the very least, if he tells you you have an asbestos, you should be able to tell people about that, because if something happens to him and you have to sue or disability or whatever, you need to know what your husband did. And what I'm saying is that it doesn't take light years or dozens of years to understand it. If you're genuinely interested in a person, you learn that kind of thing. That's what a woman brings to us. That's how we upgrade you. That is how we integrate you into our lives, and then you gain value. That's what makes you indispensable.
But I also feel the same should apply to men. How come he shouldn't take interest in the things that I like? And if he knows that I'm a content creator or of that sort, wouldn't the same thing sort of apply in that aspect, or no?
Okay, here's the thing about it. It is going to depend on what you're doing with it, because if a chick got 500,000 subscribers or 1,000,000 subscribers, a man can wrap his head around that.
Okay.
So if that's what he's dealing with, and it's like, whoa, this is really taking off on its own, a man understands numbers. So he can wrap his head around, I can see why she wants to do this, because there's a lot of people validating it. On the other hand, if he's got questions about it, it's like the efficacy of it may be in question, or he just does not like what he's seeing because he's not used to that. Could it be, Jill? Could it possibly be that he values you so much that that's why he's not comfortable with it? Could that be the question? That with everything else out there in the world that he doesn't have control over, this one little part of valuable thing, this one little diamond over here is mine. Everybody else ain't got their hands or their paws on it. This belongs to me.
But that's where trust in a relationship steps right in. It should be my husband or my partner's job sort of to understand and comprehend that the woman that he loves and that he values and that he thinks is his property can handle herself enough to, not be out there like doing certain things. So it's like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to tell me don't do it because I said don't do it. It should be, hey, I don't really like it, but I'm trusting you as a person that I love to not do it because I said I don't like it.
Okay, but do you understand he's not leading?
But why does leading have to go hand in hand with ownership?
Okay, now did you get that part though? I said, but do you understand he's not leading? Well, but okay, I would just want everybody to keep that in mind. By the way, I heard every word you said. I'm not arguing with the word you said. That's your position. I'm accepting it at face value. Do you understand that what you just described is he's not leading?
Yeah, but what does leading have to do with ownership? That's what I'm not trying. Maybe I'm not.
How can he be a man if he is not leading? Because that's what you expect from him.
But you can lead without having to say, you're my property. You can't go here because I said it looks bad. Okay, I'm not your property. You didn't birth me. You're not my mom or my dad. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's not leading me and saying, hey, babe, this is what we're doing. This is what we're paying. This is, what we're going to do with the kids. This is how our household is ran versus you cannot go here. I said, I don't want you doing this. Da, da, da. Like, no, I don't think.
Well, let me back up. Let me back up and try it again. Jill, how can he be a man if he's not leading?
But what does leading have to do with ownership?
Okay, but I understand you're asking another question, though.
Okay. I'm going to try to answer yours.
Question. How can he be a man if he's not leading?
I guess he can't be one.
I mean, but are men always supposed to be leaders at all times?
I get that. I understand that, but I'm trying to make. I want to make everybody have a point here. Just understand something. What typically happens in the modern era is females point their hands in both directions at the same time and say, "Go that way." And what I'm saying is that everything needs to be, yes, like that. Everything needs to be contradictory. I want a thug. I want a compassionate thug. I want an intelligent hoodlum. It becomes
with a degree that makes $100,000 a year.
Yes, I want some guy. I want Tupac and Neil deGrasse Tyson in the same body. And like I say, the problem is those contradictions. You want a man to lead. You want him to have that as part of his character, that he's not following you. What I'm saying is that's how you end up getting the elbow bump at 2 a.m. saying, hey, I heard something downstairs. Can you go check it out? You want leading to be a part of his character.
Yes,
but you can't pick and choose the parts.
Yes, but see,
it's just like a woman being feminine. I can't pick and choose which parts of your life are feminine. Fellas, if you're going to live with a woman, it's a good idea to invest. It's an investment. Invest in 2 bathrooms, okay? I recommend highly you invest in 2 bathrooms. Either that or you go on a schedule, because if you got a chick who's looking right, she's not. Fellas, we can get in and out in 5 minutes. If she gets out in 25 minutes, you're lucky.
3 hours.
Okay, there's my point. And as men, we have to understand the more feminine, the more time she's going to spend with herself, because that's except with very rare instances, that doesn't come easy.
I understand that.
So there's a time investment. We have to accept that she can't pick and choose that. This idea that females are going to be wear heels at home and combat boots in the world, that's a problem.
See, but again, I completely understand what you're saying. How can a man be a man without leading? As a married person, yes, I want a man to be able to lead. I don't want a man to be able to tell me what I can and cannot do. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's not leading. There's different ways of leading, and that's maybe just the way that I view it.
Do you understand that those are the things that separate your man from every other man out here? There's a reason why your husband will jump in front of them bullets and Jason be like, wait a minute, what kind of gun? Before I would try to jump in front of it. Because the things that separate your relationship with him from any other man, number one, you're having sex with him. At least that's why it's valuable. We can't just slip up and oops, somebody laid on top of me. That's supposed to be something that separates you. That includes your body parts. But number two, he is the man that you submit to. If you don't submit to him, what is he sacrificing and risking his life for?
Okay, I can submit to my man without him telling me that I cannot do something.
But that's what makes him different from every other man.
Okay.
That right. He is able to do that. So what I'm saying is that if he doesn't have those powers, then he's just like the rest of us.
I don't think so. I feel like it's an outdated mentality that when you're with somebody, you belong to them. My husband's not my property. Yes, I expect him to, respect me, that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to tell him, hey, I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to add females on Instagram. I don't want you, to go out with your boys. You're not my property, and just give me the same respect. That's just how, I feel like that's something people used to do back in the day. Oh, you're married. You can't do this. You can't go here. You can't have a drink. You can't. Why not? Like,
it's amazing. We want traditional values when it serves us, but not as a constant.
No, but I mean, what do you mean traditional values and what? Like,
we want the men to be traditional men, protector and provider, fix things around the house. You're saying you don't want your man to be a protector or provider or to be handy around the house?
Again, I'm very progressive. The reason I say no is because I do a lot of the things around the house. My husband can be at work for 24 hours and I'm outside shoveling. So again, these are not things that are a requirement in my household. It might be different. But again, in regards to a protector, yes. If somebody comes in my home, please, honey, protect me. Now, am I like, oh, you're a piece of shit if you don't, like you're less of a man? No, but there's just certain things that maybe I'm just different.
No, actually, you're not. That is the whole issue over here. We got the younger version of you over there on the right-hand side of the screen. So that's where we're heading. What I want to do here,
handy, by the way, I'm very
clearly you are, y'all. She does makeup and plumbing. Think about that for a few moments. She does makeup and plumbing, shoveling.
I do, and I do sheetrock, and I have power tools, and yep.
Yes, get it.
I sure do. And I have a few projects that I'm doing at the house.
Okay, well, fellas, she might be available there. We'll see how things go. Look, I'm going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines here. The telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program that all your favorite YouTubers talk trash about behind our backs. I'm sure there's not a YouTube short in here anywhere. There's a few thousand of y'all watching here. So definitely go ahead and you can give us a call in the next couple of minutes and I might let you speak here. This has been a rambunctious conversation, to be sure. Cynthia, they need to make a TV reality show about you. Let me tell you.
I would watch it. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Yeah,
I would watch it in theater, but yes, I would definitely tune in there. It's like, Lord,
that's
what is she
what
doing?
I'm trying to get into too, reality TV. So that's funny you mentioned it.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it there. So, and by the way, if any of you are up there in the New Jersey area, just be aware that Cynthia here, there she is. She's cutting somebody's hair, so she is a barber. She takes care of you and your girlfriends. So definitely. If you need your hair cut up there in the New Jersey area, no, seriously, I'm serious. She does cut hair. She is a barber.
She's out of work.
Okay, yes, she just came back from work and everything. So seriously, she does cut hair. So, hey, if you're a fellow who needs a haircut or a place to stay, you can go ahead and
No,
you can
no,
go ahead.
place.
Yeah. If you
Jason.
need a haircut or a couch, Cynthia might be available. She's definitely available for one, possibly available for the second.
The funny thing is, I have a pull-out couch.
Okay, and there's the whole issue right there, y'all. She needs a futon, an inflatable mattress, whatever. But she is ready. She just got out of one hellacious relationship. She is ready to move on to the next one here, so she can squander the rest of her 20s. Why use intelligently? There's no reason to do anything rash like that. So, and Jill can go ahead and encourage you. She got her husband. She's already got him locked down. So she's like, by the way, this doesn't have to be good advice. I'm already good. The rest of you,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
y'all, she's like, hey, I'm straight. Y'all looking for a husband. I've had mine for over a decade, so I can talk reckless. So the rest of you trying to get one, I got mine. Firefighter, benefits, pension. All the kids are over 10 years old. I'm not straight. I'm straight. So
I'm straight.
the rest of you, if you don't get in where you fit in, oh well, it just sucks to be you.
It's my time to live now.
At 25, okay. All right.
Yeah, the 20s. What are you talking about?
You've done enough. Here's the real thing. Right now, you're at your sexual peak as that goes. You're at the height of your sexual abilities as a female. You're not going to get prettier from here. It basically from here, it's either going to be a steep fall off or it's going to be a slow one.
What?
Yeah, because that's where you're at. You are at the top of your value. That's where you are right now. And that's okay. As a female, that's the way it works. Like it's not a debate.
Well, the way my mama looks, I know that I'm good for more.
Well, I mean, that's great. That's great. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. A woman saying that she's 30 years old hits men the same way that a man telling you that he makes $60,000 a year hits you. And a woman telling you that she's 35 or 40 hits a man the same way as a man telling you he makes $45,000 a year hits you.
Jason, it still works the same.
No, it doesn't, because if all it qualifies for is the dude making $45,000 a year, did it hit the same?
No, I'm saying it still works the same. So 30, 20.
Actually, ma'am, okay, let's not do that.
And I got no kids. And I like to work out.
No.
And I'm a barber.
Okay, ladies.
I'm good.
Okay, ladies.
I'm good when I'm 40. What you talking?
A babe, there's things happen to the human body as you all get older. A baby doesn't feel like a toddler, and a 30-year-old female doesn't feel like an 18-year-old. And a 40-year-old female don't feel like none of the above. So while men will accept any port in a storm, let's just be very, very clear. You take them 35-year-old butt cheeks to the club and try to compete against the 20-year-olds.
Oh no!
I'm about to say understand life is happening. Okay?
I don't got major needs no more, so definitely no. But the sweeter the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Well, there are other things that you bring. The only problem is it has a hassle that comes. You all bring experience with age. The problem is you also bring craftiness and wiliness with it. So.
Attitude.
Well, yeah, okay, but y'all, she's happily married. That's why she can say that. Attitude too. What you gonna do? Divorce me? Okay. Look, the telephone lines are now open here. So, ladies, if you will, I want to take a couple of calls because I'm sure they have a lot to say in this regard. So let me get caller from area code 281. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Prince out of Richmond, Texas.
Prince out of Richmond. What's on your mind?
Okay, I'd like to ask the ladies a question and maybe you a question too, Jason. One is, which is more important, a 50-50 relationship or a man being your financial and social leader? Which is more important to you, ladies?
Oh, boy. You got to think it over.
That's a tough one.
Is it?
I mean... But by 50-50, you mean like equal? Like
no, the 50-50 you were referring to earlier.
Define 50-50.
Yeah, how would you define 50? Are you referring to finances? Are you referring to just
He's saying however you define it.
Oh, I mean, I think 50-50. That's just me. I personally, again, I'm in my 30s, so maybe back then I would think a little different, just because I didn't have the things that I have now. But I guess I have a different mindset, so I would do the 50-50. I don't really worry about a man that has to, support me, like that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I
what
mean,
about you, Cynthia?
Okay.
I would like that, but I think I would choose then the 50-50, because I feel like that also comes with then a guy trying to control you and be like, well, I pay this, I do this for you, so we need to do it my way, and it needs to be this way.
Yup.
I do this for you. So that's
Okay,
why
but what do you think gives you the ability to make your female demands if a man has no authority?
I feel like it'll be both. That's
Mm.
why both.
We have female demands?
Hell yeah, you do.
Like
As a matter of fact,
what?
first of all, the first demand that you have is to not work. That's the first demand that you have. Women do not wish to work. None of you work as hard as a man. None of you work as diligent. None of you put in as much work. No, you do not.
You
Okay,
got the
okay,
wrong
whoa.
one.
I
You
would
don't
never want to be a stay-at-home woman, because
are
you know what that means? That means you got to take care of the home, you got to take care of the kids, you got to ask him for the card, you got to all these little intricate things. No.
But
This is why I
okay.
work.
First of all, why do you think so many women want to be stay-at-home moms? Then
That's other women, but for me,
I didn't
you're
answer the
talking
women. Why do you think they want that?
to me,
Because they don't want to get up every day and go to work.
a lot of
Because that's an upgrade over a working woman.
To some.
to some, but me, that's a
To
down.
most.
Some.
To most. Do you all realize that the more you all work, the more masculine you become?
I guess I'm very
You think so?
masculine because no.
Yeah, but then, for example, if a man were to meet somebody that is not working, doesn't have a career, doesn't have anything going for them, and says, "Hey, you make X amount, a year. I want to be a stay-at-home mom." Then all of a sudden, now it's like, who does this think she is?
Well, here's the thing. If you're in your early 20s, that will work. Now, as you get older, that doesn't work, because becoming a kept woman, stay-at-home woman, once you've gone into the workforce and thrown elbows with us, we don't see you the same way. But if you're in your early 20s, yeah, that can work. But specifically because we get something very valuable, we get to decide we get to put you together the way we want to. Jill is going to see if she can get the Santa Claus off the roof. When you're in your early 20s, we get to mold you into the kind of female we want you to be. We get to craft you into our woman. Because here's the problem. The longer you stay out here in the sexual marketplace, quote, dating men, getting run through, having experiences, getting drunk and laying up somewhere, understand that makes you less and less somebody's woman. And over time, all that builds up. And it becomes difficult, if not impossible, to turn you into our woman, as it were. Because what fits another man ain't gonna fit me, and what may fit me isn't gonna fit him. And if you want somebody to jump in front of bullets, that's gonna matter. That we put a very high premium on being able to craft you into the woman we need.
That's the
We
thing.
put a very high premium on it.
I don't want someone to craft me. If anything, like I said, I got my situation and I've been doing that, and I'm young.
You don't want anybody to craft you.
No, I would rather I find out who I am as a person, and I build myself up, and then learn through my experiences, and then come across someone that's on that same type of energy. And now with all that baggage, say kids, this, that, baby mamas, or like, oh, I killed, whatever the heck they're going through. I want someone that match, and I know what I want now because of experience and what I've learned in my past relationships, and financially where I'm at and what I provide. I'm a hardworking person. I'm not those type of women that rather stay home. I feel like, I'm sorry, it's just bummy. Like, well, what are you doing with your life? Like, I need to financially be good. I'm gonna be good, and then my partner should be good as well. If anything, hopefully they got more than me, like that'll be easier for me.
Exactly. And there's the point. Thank you.
Same as me. whatever, as long as you are holding up your own and I am holding up my own, and we come together, and then we are financially good, we're the same mindset, and that's how we work. Maybe I might come across someone that wants to build a woman and wants to have a woman do all of this X, Y, and Z. That's when I scoot the boot. I'm sorry, you're not for me. And then I'll go somewhere with someone else that is on that same level.
Jill, adjust your camera.
Respects me, and sees value in me and everything that I provide and what I've went through.
Okay, I want to ask about that in just a moment here, but Jill, you're gonna need to put it back from you there because the whole top of your eye, from your eyes up, is missing. So I don't want to put you back on until you get that taken care of there.
The ring light
Prince, what was your next question?
Oh, my next question is Jason.
You're muted. You're muted, Jill. So that I had to turn it off for you. But once you get it adjusted, I'll put you back on. Go ahead, Prince.
Yeah, a man getting female attention is much different, Jason, than a woman, let's say, arousing male attention through cleavage, through whatever gyration, wherever bathing suits. And if you're a man's woman, do women understand the danger that they put, if they have a man, that they put a man in when they do things to get attention from other men, that they could possibly be dangerous? That we as men, if a man disrespects her, crosses the line, or like the other young lady said, I don't think they see the danger. She said the guy tapped on the shoulder and showed up. They don't see it. A lot of times women get harmed and they don't see it coming. They don't see it happening. Do you think they understand the danger it is dealing with men? They do this comparative thing where, okay, you do this, I do that. It doesn't work like that with masculinity. Do they understand that they don't bring the same thing to a relationship as our masculinity?
I can agree. I see where you're coming with that.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here, Prince. Jill, you're going to put the camera further back, ma'am, because I can't. You can take a look on your screen. That's exactly what we're seeing. We can't see the top of your head. So I'm not sure if you turned it sideways or whatever. We can't see the whole top of your head. Let me go ahead and get Daniel. Go ahead and unmute yourself. If you're on Zoom, you need to unmute yourself, Daniel, because we don't hear you. Daniel had issues with this here before. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Yeah, that's right. We check your cables for that, Daniel. Mm-hmm. Daniel is working on life in general here, so we'll come back to Daniel here in a little bit. Daniel, let me see. Let me get caller from Eric. Well, let me ask you a question here, Cynthia, before it gets too far along here, because I think this is important. You said as long as his money is good and our money is good.
Like,
okay, well, so, what is good money in 2022 in the New York, New Jersey area now?
Well, rent is basically with what you said, close to $2,000. So as long as you could have something, I would say around that for like rent and money to save, a little bit of rent and save money, then you're good, because we can also have money to then a little money to play with and some money to save.
Right. So let's find out, what is that number?
So I mean, I would just say close to monthly, coming close to what am I making?
No, I'm saying for him.
Well, for him, I would say that would be good if you're having like 6,000 a month.
Okay. Well, if you're making $6,000 a month, I mean, that sounds decent there. That's about $72,000 a year.
Or more, that would be nice. But like I'm saying, for me, but if you're making more, that would be nice,
Right. But my point, though, is $72,000 a year. You consider that to be good income from a man in the New York, New Jersey area?
For my age, my level, yeah.
25 years old, $72,000 a year.
Maybe a little less. I don't know.
Okay. I want you to think that there's the whole reason this is very important to have this.
I'm saying that it would be nice, if he has around that.
Right. Because $72,000 a year, at $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year, 1/3 of your 1/3 of the yearly income would be taken up solely in the rent alone. That's not even counting taxes. That's before taxes. After taxes, yeah, we're probably talking about you've only got less than half that left.
I don't know. I feel
So
like my
what are
occupation-
you? I'm just saying, what are y'all gonna do? $45,000 a year between the two of you, $90,000 a year in that area. I'm just wondering, like, what kind of car are you gonna drive? Where are you gonna be shopping? Well, we want to go some places. Where
I'm
exactly are you
talking
gonna
about,
go?
starting off and like right now in my,
But you're 25. You're not starting off anymore.
Okay, well,
That's the whole issue. I want to put that in perspective. And Jill will bear me witness on this. You're not 25. You're 25. You're not 18 or 19.
I feel like a lot of people though aren't even having that. That's the thing.
Right. That's the point. There you go. If we have a light bulb moment there. That's the whole point is, yeah, it gets away from you real fast. At 25, you're like, well, other 25-year-olds are struggling too. Yeah, that's exactly the issue. 10 years ago, gas was what, $2.50? I remember 20 years ago when I was starting out and gas was it was $1.50. So what I'm saying is that forget inflation in other areas.
I'm not referring to me. I was just saying as like if a guy can bring just something and I just do that.
Right, but no. I'm referring to the guy also. Yes, that's what I'm referring to. Because the most important decision that you will make is the quality of man that you are with. And well, that's what I'm saying. If you said if the both of us can be good, that's why I said, well, after taxes, y'all are really taking home maybe $45,000, $50,000 after rent and taxes.
Well, I'm a barber, so.
And that's great. That's wonderful. And if we ever need to get edged up, we will come over there to Trenton and come see you.
No, I meant like.
I did it on purpose. So we're coming to Trenton to come see you. But my point is, yes, ma'am, we're coming straight to Trenton to come see you. That's right. That's right. Right on the other side of the Holland Tunnel. We're coming to Trenton right on the other side of the Holland Tunnel. I did it on purpose. I know where Trenton is. Anyway, my point is, though, that as you're getting older here and stuff, at 25, you don't understand, like, forget retirement. Let's just here's a metric that I use for everybody. And Jill, I'm going to do it to you too. So get ready. It's incoming.
All right.
Cynthia, what kind of car do you currently drive?
Ew, I'm driving a HRV this year model.
HRV. I've heard
it's because my car got flooded, okay?
I heard of the CRV. What's a HR? I was a car dealer. What's the HR?
Like under that, it's less with gas and it looks like a soccer mom's car. But
okay.
That's because my car got flooded in the area.
Okay. It's a Honda compact vehicle. Okay.
I had a Clarity before that. It was pretty nice. Nice on gas, hybrid, cute.
Okay. That's great. What kind of car would you like to be driving in 7 years from now?
I would say Tesla. That'd be nice.
Okay. How much do you think of Tesla? Which Tesla do you want?
I don't give a crap. Tesla.
It does matter, ma'am. Do you want a Model S? Do you want a Model 3? Do you want the Model X Plaid?
I don't know because I don't know about those models.
The X Plaid, definitely.
Then how do you know? How do you know you want one then?
Because it looks nice to see them drive around.
Okay, you're gonna spend about $100,000.
Well, that's in 7 years what I like to ride, a Tesla, the newer model, whatever is in that year.
Right, but
or a flying car.
Okay, but let's be serious, bro, because that's the thing I'm taking a look at here. At 25 years old, in 7 years, you'll be 32 years old. What I'm saying is that you don't want your life to look the same in 7 years as it does now.
Of course not.
You want your life to look different.
Yeah.
Who's going to take? How do we get there? To $100,000 from a Honda CRV, $25,000, and if you already used, it's less than that. To $100,000 Tesla. How do we get there?
I don't know. I would just say I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, and throughout time, it's gonna progress. And also, my job, I'm gonna be soon getting a raise and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just stay doing what I'm doing because I know I'm good, and it will come in time. I just need to save and be smart with my money because I was not too smart with it.
And for everybody asking, for anybody wondering there, that smoke alarm is out in the hallway. So not here where I am. It's One of them is in the hallway of one of the ladies there, so she'll get to that later. Jill,
Yes.
what kind of car do we currently drive?
I drive a Lexus 350.
Okay.
RX 350.
Okay. RX 350.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And are you happy with that?
Yeah. I've had it for 3 years now, so I like it.
Okay. Would you like to be driving that in 5 years?
No, not really.
What would you like to upgrade to?
I mean, I'm not really picky, but if I had a choice of a car, like you said, the Tesla, what is it, the Plaid one? I like that one. And I mean, I like I don't know what model it is, but the Mercedes-Benz truck.
Okay, there's the GLC, the GLE, which is the midsize one, the GLS, which is the large one that they also make the Maybach variant of.
The big one.
Okay, that's the GLS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you like that one, that would come in handy there.
Yeah.
Depending on what trim level you're looking at anywhere from 70 to over 100,000. If you want the Maybach one, that's 175 and up. We're just going to assume that's not the one you mean. I don't mean to insult you, but I'm just going to assume you don't mean the Maybach version. So looking anywhere from 70 to over $100,000. Mm-hmm. How do we get there?
I mean, hypothetically speaking, or on what road we're
literally. How do we get there? And there's a reason why I'm asking.
I mean, for me right now, literally, I'm in the works of progressing, and I feel like we should all do that, in our lives, constantly. So I'm in school. So once I graduate onto a better job, I'm planning on becoming an attorney, a criminal one, and that's how I plan to do so.
Oh.
I have to ask an audacious question of both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, you both have some very feminist ideas,
mm-hmm.
and that's great for you if you want to do that. However, men probably find that to be a little abrasive. No doubt about that. Do you think that the men that you've been dealing with, do you think their income and socioeconomic status plays a part in why it is that you have that type of resistance? Like what you said there before. If you had a man who could say, Jill, you're more valuable to me at home. I don't need you running around the countryside. I need you here. Here's a credit card. Here's the key fob to the GLS. Here's an iPhone 14. I need you here. Would you still be saying the same thing?
Yes. You want to know why? Because at any given point, that can all be taken away. And that's something that me, as the person and the mindset that I have, I don't like to give anyone, including my husband, anyone, that kind of control over me. And I've seen it time again where you give a man everything and he tells you to stop working. And from day to night, he'll be like, I don't even want you anymore. I found somebody younger. And then what do you have to show for it? So
that's a very interesting thing to say there. Certainly that happens in marriage. So that's a big risk for women when they get married, correct?
Yes.
Certainly that's a big risk. By the way, who files the majority of divorces?
Men.
Well, y'all, when she becomes an attorney, should I tell her? Or are you all going to tell her?
Hey, a criminal attorney, not a divorce attorney.
Okay, even still, that's well, what women do is criminal when you think about it. But my point is, okay, women file the majority of divorces. Do you know what percentage? Quiet, Cynthia. Jill, what percentage of divorces do you think are filed by women?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say 73%.
Okay, bump it up a little bit more to 80. Women file for divorce 8 out of 10 times. What is the number one cause of filing of divorce?
Irreconcilable differences.
Okay. Irreconcilable differences usually stemming from
cheating.
Finances.
Oh.
Finances.
Thank
good.
you. Because you see, now with no fault and all this garbage going on, women can just walk into court and just say, I want to get a divorce. But the laws have not kept up with women's capricious ideas about it. Because if you marry somebody at great expense to him, he carries the liability for it even after you get divorced. As opposed to if it were a situation where it's like, okay, you can file divorce, but you walk off the way you came in, it wouldn't be so capricious. So what I'm saying is those attitudes are a product of the fact, oh, there's a cushion built for me. If you actually had to carry that alone, it would be different. So what I'm saying is, first of all, your attitude about men do this and men do that. It's women who are practically always the ones, that thing you claim you're afraid of, the women are the ones initiating it 8 out of 10 times. Not a little bit. The women are the outrageous, overwhelming majority. If I told you that you would not make it to work 8 out of 10 times you try to go, you would never leave the house. Think about that for a few moments. If I told you you're going to have an auto accident 8 out of 10 times, you would never leave the home. Okay, think about it as men. You're putting the onus on the men for something that women do 80% of the time. So what I'm saying is, it's not even perspective of what's happening in the society. It should be the men who are worried. It's not the men who leave. So I'm not sure where that anecdotal example that you came up with originated from.
I feel like that was cheap though.
Maybe that was one person that you saw, but that is, men generally do not leave.
They don't leave, they cheat.
Case in point, Cynthia, did your man leave you?
Nobody cheated.
Okay, but that's two different things.
Jason.
But that's the thing. I feel like they won't leave, but they will cheat gladly, no problem. And I work in a men's field, and it's disgusting and crazy to hear all these damn stories. It pisses me off. It really scares.
What makes a man valuable to you is not what makes you valuable to a man.
But there's a saying, it's cheaper to keep her, because as you stated before, women can get a divorce and walk away with alimony, can walk away with a man's pension, so on and so forth.
It's not that. It's not that. If a woman is a model citizen, which is very, very rare for you all today, but even if a woman is, for the most part, just decent, men are not going to go anywhere, not because it's cheaper to keep her, but because we are creatures of stability. We want things to be women marry men. This is an old saying. Women marry men thinking he's going to change, and women marry men thinking she's going to stay the same. We want you to stay exactly the way you are. Women are the complicated creatures. Men are simple. We are the simplest creatures on the planet. Case in point,
false.
Math. Let me present you with some math. Ladies, the last time that you went to a clothing store, and this is something that's built into the economy, how many different varieties of underwear do men have? Don't even say the number. Now, how many different varieties of underwear do women have? How about socks? How about pants? How about shirts? You all need, how many different outfits do you have, Jill? And how many, wait a minute, Jill, how many different outfits do you have, and how many different outfits does your husband own?
This is not about me.
How many different outfits do you have, and how many does he own?
I feel like
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let that speak for who is the complex creature.
Emotionally, we're not complex. Well, you guys are also very.
What? Are you saying that women are not emotionally complex? Are you kidding me?
But so are you guys.
No, we're not.
Fault of that same thing. You're not.
Men only have two emotions: sex and aggression.
Guys have emotions. What are you talking about?
Yes, we have two. We have all two: sex, emotion, and football. Those are our three emotions.
Go Cowboys.
Ma'am, I'm from Louisiana. Don't get body slam. Don't do that. Don't do that. In any case, we have three emotions. Y'all got three emotions per minute.
No, we do not.
What do you think your favorite TV shows are soap operas and things like that? Men don't even watch that kind of stuff.
You're stereotyping us.
Ma'am, that's a fact. You're wearing green.
What?
What's that to do with it?
A man would never do that. Not that shady, but that's the proof right there. We're not complex.
So you wear neutrals, Jason?
We're gonna wear black, We're gonna wear something black, maybe gray, and that's gonna be it. We're not gonna wear any other colors beyond that. They don't even have to worry about that. If we walk in the store, we don't even go in there saying what color it needs to be. They already know. As long as it's black, white, or gray, the men are covered.
Depends on the man. There's metrosexual men out there.
Are you attracted to them?
Nope.
Thank you. Case in point. Thank you very much for clearing that up. I appreciate that. I have a sneaking suspicion, especially for you, Cynthia.
What?
If the man's productivity were on a certain level, you would feel differently about it, because it is one thing to hear these things in the abstract. It is a hell of, especially where you live at, it is a hell of another thing for a fella to be able to present you with that and jump to the front of the line. That's a whole different animal.
With what he wears?
No, ma'am, to tell you, you know what? I'm through with you cutting dude's hair. You are more valuable here and not in that apartment you in either with the cat. The apartment's gone, the cat's gone, your gamer chair is gone. We're moving you on over to the east side. I think the attitude would be different. I think what the real issue is you all have not felt like you can count on men, or the men that you've chosen, you feel like you can't count on them.
Yeah,
your husband, I'm not speaking for Jill's husband per se, but especially Cynthia, your track record, the men you've chosen are men you don't feel you can count on.
Yeah. So
and with that being the case, you're approaching the world with an attitude of, I have to protect myself.
Because at the end of the day, they won't. That's how I feel.
But let me ask you a question. Why is it that the competent men who will, you haven't been able to get with them?
I don't know. I guess they don't try, or they don't show me the interest.
Why do you think they don't show you the interest? Because they're certainly out there.
I don't know. Because in the barber shop, there's a lot of men who show interest to me. Well, supposedly they do, but I don't see it. Do you get me? Like, the one barber would tell me, you don't see all these guys, wealthy men that would really treat you like royalty. And I'm like, but where? I don't see them. He's like, just one of them was just flirting with you. And I was like, that was flirting? Like, I didn't.
That's what my man calls game goofy. But the point is, what I'm saying is that if you have a producer who's expressing interest in you and you don't understand that type of interest, the unemployed fella on his mama's couch, she did. I bet you he didn't even approach you. I bet you approached him.
Hell no.
Okay, but you understood his interest. So she understood the interest of an unproductive male, but she didn't understand the interest of a productive one. This is a language.
I feel like it was also because he was a different race, like the people who are generally cut. The guy I was with was Dominican, so he was like, boom, straightforward, like vocalizing how he felt or that he wanted. But those other men are kind of more shy or reserved, and it's just like like they get their haircut. But then the other barber would tell me, he'd be like, yo, like, he's interested. And then I would just be like, but how? I didn't see it.
He was interested and she didn't see it. Now, how in the hell could a man be interested in you? You didn't pick up a single clue.
Like,
because you got such a taste now for the fellas operating at a certain level. You have a taste for fellas operating at a certain level to the point that now you can't even hear it. No. When a producer is actually
vocalized, is what I'm saying. It's not even being vocalized.
That was one. They're not all sitting there mumbling at you. That was just one.
I feel like communication. You got to communicate, because how would I know? Just by you looking at me?
If you were at a bar, would that not be the way that works?
But I meant by my job.
Okay. But if you were at a bar, would you then be saying, how am I supposed to tell a guy looking at me is interested in me? Now,
okay, at a bar, I'm talking about in the barber chair. I'm looking all up at them. What do you mean?
So you can't tell that there's a guy giving you the eye?
But it's like, are you giving me the eye, or are you just looking at me for something else? Like, I don't know.
Okay, and that's when you say, what's up?
But we're talking. Do you get me? We're already talking. There's your chance.
Let me correct that. There's your chance. And let me explain what that.
I'm not going to talk to a guy.
No, it's not. You said you were already talking to him, so pick a side. Here's the difference.
I'm talking to him as in barber conversation.
Okay, but here's the difference. The reason why you should have said something after he made those nonverbal communications is because a man can change your life in an hour. You can't change his in an hour. So there's the incentive for you to say, okay, if he's interested, I can't treat him the way I do men who don't have other options. A fellow who can change your life in an hour, he's also got options. That's all the more reason and incentive for you to say, hey, let me not just sit here being silly and quiet.
I don't like chasing.
Correct. You should let the gentleman from his mom's basement pursue instead. That's what we should have here instead.
Or the guy should, if anything, be more off. Like, let it know that at least take me out for freaking dinner. Like, what the heck? Hey, I would like to take you out to eat if you're ever available. Or like, you know, I like your vibe. Just something to let me know you're interested. But if there's not even a look, sometimes they don't even give me a look. It's like more of like, the other people catch them looking as I walk by. You could just be looking at my ass. Who knows? But that's the thing. Where's the difference? I don't know if it's like lust, like, ooh, I would like to smack that, you know, or is it like
because we know that the guy who was your homie lover friend didn't have any lust in his eyes. We all know he was just a good Christian missionary. We all know there was nothing like that going on at all. Nothing, especially with the number of women he jumped around with. Nothing like that at all going on. No cues or anything going on there. Well, ladies, like I say, I have a distinct impression and feeling. If the fella dropped the Aston Martin key fob in your lap, it would change. I have a distinct impression. But I will tell you one thing. This is a bigger argument for anything else for females not to be by themselves. You lose perspective. You lose touch. You lose the ability to, you're already putting your life in a man's hands. That's the part that's really crazy. Whatever you're afraid of happening, you're already there. There isn't anything that you're concerned about, worried about, thinking about, that you're protecting yourself from, quote, protecting, that you're not already there for. That's the real thing about it. And this idea that men will absorb 100% of the risk and you have a clean investment, that's the real problem of it. What you really need to do is what the fellows were telling you at the barbershop. Have the ability to get with somebody who fools with you for real and be able to recognize when this fella fools with you for real. Like you, Jill, are you telling me that after all these years, you don't know if your husband fools with you for real or not? You're not sure. You're not 100% certain. Oh, Lord, I'm about to get some from divorce court. Let me turn off your camera. Oh, let me turn off her camera, y'all. She's going to wind up in front of Judge Barber. Okay, don't you say anything else, Jill. Stop. You're done for the evening. Cynthia, you're not there yet. But you need to recognize, that's what the guys were telling you, is men, we got to be able to recognize threats, and we also have to recognize opportunity. And we have to recognize it non-verbally. Somebody walks off in that barbershop with bad intentions. If the men don't have their animal senses on and cognizant of it, it'll cost them their lives. We have to be able to tell when that's going on. As a woman, you can do the same thing. You also will be the ones with intuition. And if your intuition is that desensitized, that's important because, especially for you at your age, men who have options, we expect you to we don't expect to have to jump through a bunch of hurdles for you because we're already cycling through options. We're used to females responding when we express an interest in them. It's not about you chasing. We expect you to respond. If she doesn't respond, especially if he's looking at her like, okay, maybe one too many tattoos, maybe she wearing too tight a pair of pants, she might want somebody different. I'm going to be real sly about it because I'm not really even sure I'm her type or that she's going to be cooperative enough. They're going to tread carefully. So as you get older in this, I think that's what the fellows were trying to tell you, especially at your age and stuff, like, hey, recognize when somebody who can change your life is approaching you. How they do that, it's not what you're used to. And they're not expecting the same thing. He's expecting to do a little bit and then see how you respond, because that's the way he lives. He's not a person who wants to attract. What you're saying is you got a guy who didn't want to attract a bunch of attention to himself. That's what you're saying. He was kind of doing it on the sneak. He doesn't like attracting a bunch of attention to himself. For example, what kind of car did he drive? What was he wearing?
That I don't know.
Okay, she didn't remember what he was driving. She didn't remember what he was wearing. Okay,
I don't look at that. They just come in the shop.
Wow.
I don't ask people what they drive.
You don't have to ask. You can see him when he pulls up. I mean, he was sitting in your chair. You didn't see what he was wearing?
In city, you walk.
You're in a place. Well, you said that the man told you that the old dude was papered up.
Yeah. Based off of looking at what he wore, his watch and stuff like that, or his customers.
Right. So you see how
he's trying to put me onto his customers, or he'll be like, "Yo, get with him." And I'll be like,
yeah, because he saw the last 4 guys you were with, and he's like, hey, she needs a little bit of help getting this upgrade going. Because obviously she can't see it. So I'm saying he was trying to give you an alley-oop.
Yeah, he always tries to give me an alley-oop when it comes to guys wealthy, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I don't even know how to talk to a guy to be like, hey, so what's up? Even like if I'm not interested, like, I don't know. I feel like there has to be more of like, I really need to be interested in like, also how he looks, you know, not just about what the heck he wears and drives and how financially good he is. There has to be a connection there first of all.
No, the word you're trying to miss is attraction.
Attraction.
Okay, attraction is for dumbasses.
Really? No attraction?
No, attraction is for dumb women and children. And the reason why
no attraction at all?
Attraction does not have any tangible benefit. A man being attracted to you has a tangible benefit. A man being attractive to you has a tertiary benefit, but it doesn't have a permanent tangible one. His ability to, I'm not saying that it's not a factor. Of course, it's a factor. Negro come through the door looking like Flavor Flav or Magilla Gorilla. Of course, obviously, you're not going to jump on him. But what I am saying is, as a woman, you're supposed to think smart. And thinking smart means that you gauge competence, productivity, resourcefulness, because those are the things that protect you when something goes bump in the night, protects you when the rent is due, and upgrades your life continuously over time. Oh, yeah. And he's not stupid enough to trade you in. By the way, he won't be dumb enough to trade you in. If he knows he's got a woman who fools with him for real, he might lay up with something younger for a minute. And she's like, okay, when you going to divorce your wife? I'm not divorcing my wife. Not for you, not for nobody. So grab your things and leave. I got to go home. But yeah, I'm not divorcing. No, I'm not divorcing my wife. Not for you, not for anyone.
But I'm not divorcing.
Did you stutter?
But I'll cheat on her?
Ma'am, it depends. What I will say is the reason why you're offended about it is because it was an unemployed guy doing it. He did not earn the right or have the resources.
No, regardless. Especially the fact that like the attractionist. Come on.
Ma'am, let me give you 3 of these gamer seats. A fella who's making $250,000 a year, you cannot sit up here and say he's got to be resourceful, competent, reliable, and completely faithful to me.
And that is why
you're gonna get 2 of those 3 items on a regular basis. Choose the 2. But this idea that you can have it all, I've had one misguided little individual who thought that was true. You can't have all of that.
I guess that's why I'm gonna be the man, and that's why I need to have my own money. And
Cynthia's made up her mind.
I'm gonna be the one balling out, and I'm the one that's gonna get with a girl. That's gonna be me, because I cannot have a guy cheating on me. I'm done with that, and I'm not gonna
Cynthia
do that again.
Cynthia, how many of your girlfriends ever bought you a gift?
A few.
Okay, how long were you dating her before she bought you a gift?
Oh no, I didn't date girls. I thought you meant like girlfriends.
No, I'm talking about the ones you've laid up with.
Oh, the ones I laid up with, those are the ones like I turned out.
Okay, but my point is they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to upgrade your life. So when you say I'm gonna get me a girlfriend, I'm like, okay, this idle threat, because a woman is not gonna pave your way. A woman is not gonna forget 50-50. Y'all know full well another woman's gonna be like 10%. She's not gonna do anything for you.
I was joking with that part. I've never dated a woman. I've just hooked up with them.
Okay, well, like I say, definitely we'll keep that in mind. Fellas, if you ever need to get the threesome going together here, we'll talk about that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I want to thank both of you for joining us here tonight. I think this has been revealing.
Thank you very
Fellas, it doesn't matter whether they're married. I don't know. Is this just an argument to stay away from Dominican chicks? Is this an argument now? Is this the way it's this is like the fourth or fifth one? The fourth or fifth one we've had on here. There's just no getting along with you all. There just isn't. All these fellas
can't live with us, can't live without us.
Okay, fellas, like just if you're in the Dominican chicks, I think over the last couple of months we've just seen it's a bottomless pit. You're just done. That's just it. You're just stuck. I mean, you walk in and you don't walk out.
They'll just get stuck.
Yes, they walk in and they just don't walk out. So it's just. I mean, they are extra freaky and everything else, but it's gonna be trouble. It'll be good for like 3 or 4 months.
Trouble.
You are trouble, Jill.
We're not trouble.
Okay. Well,
depends on what kind of trouble.
Happily married.
I need her husband to make that hostage video so we can go ahead and see what's really happening.
Well, I have to go let him out of the closet then. I gotta go.
That's what she went to go do.
Handcuffs.
That's what she went to go do.
All she gotta do is just send him an email. It's just the law offices of Jake Moreau, specialize in divorce. And so, what you want to tell him now? I'm happy, Jason. I am happily married and faithful. I would never want to hold up that sign a little bit more, Jill. Leave. Thank you. Ladies, I'll let you have the last word. If you want to plug your Instagrams, you can definitely do that. Cynthia, if you want to let everybody know where they can get their hair cut or don't, that's up to you as well. Any fellas out there who are affluent, come by, do more than just peek at her. She wants you to talk. Now we have to talk to them.
Where do I put my info?
If you want to, if y'all want to plug your Instagrams, Jill needs to. So
where do I put it?
No, just say it. For God's sake.
Okay. My Instagram is sin.love, CYN.LOVE_. And then Sin Sensation, CY. Wait, what was it? It's C. I'm sorry, that's my backup page. It's CY and then SATTION. Why give me my YouTube Cinnamon, CYNNIOMN. All right, you could go.
No, I just want to say thank you for having us. It was nice having this dialogue back and forth. And my Instagram is Jill's360beauty, just like that.
All right. Well, fellas, like I say, definitely if you're papered up, come to New Jersey. Although if you're not papered up, you can come to New Jersey anyway there. So, no job, no income, no pension required. In Jill's case, just forget about it. It's over. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us tonight. We appreciate that. I look forward to speaking to you both here again. Thank you very much for your time. Welcome to the jungle. We have fun and games. Okay. Y'all have had your opportunities here. You really, really have. Let me get on the phone line here. Let me get caller from area code 410. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Macy from Baltimore County, Maryland.
Oh, Lord.
I was put in timeout. I was in trouble because I think they thought I was talking about you, but I was talking about the comment section.
Okay. Go ahead, Macy. Let's hear this. Well, go ahead. What is it?
So what happened was.
Okay, we all know this ends well. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm sick if I sound bad. It's my nose. Okay, but
cocaine.
I just said basically that if you guys need to chill in the comment section because you're probably the main ones in their DMs because they were just giving like throw up emojis and all this other stuff, and I don't like slut shaming, but I wasn't even talking about you. I was talking about the comment section.
What is slut shaming, and why should sluts not be shamed? Let me find it out first.
Well, I just said, they were just the little throw up emoji. They were like doing the most. Like I don't understand the joke here and there, but it was just. I was just
right.
Like,
let me try this again.
You're not even paying attention.
Let me try it again. What is slut shaming, and why should sluts not be shamed? Let me find that out.
I don't really know the textbook definition, but
You're using terms now. You're the
know.
one who used the term, and you don't know what you were saying it for, really?
I do, but I don't know how. Like, basically, I don't know. I guess one of them was twerking on Instagram, and they were like disgusting and all this other stuff, or whatever. I don't know. So I guess that would be slut shaming because she's twerking. So you're.
Well, I don't know.
making her-
I don't know if that's slutty
I
or
don't know.
not. I don't know if that's slutty or not. She's definitely up there dancing and everything. I don't know if that qualifies as slutty, but here's the real thing about it, though. Think about that for just a moment. Those words mean something. So if you're going to tell the men, yes, welcome to the slut era, everybody hold up your banners. Think about that for a few moments. Is this where we at?
I mean, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
I'm
sick, so
saying
my
just
brain is
think,
not, like,
if we
100%.
are you just saying that we're in the slut era and the men need to just get used to it? Think about that for a few moments.
No, no, I do understand. Like, what I was understanding where you were coming from when it came to, like, if you're married and he's risking a lot, you should at least respect his wishes. I understand that. I was just mostly coming for the comments. Like, I felt like they were doing the most, and I said what I said. They said what they said, and I said what I said. And that's it.
Do you see a problem with what you said, Nisi?
Not really, but I know if somebody was putting throw up emojis while I was on Zoom, I would be upset. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving us a call here. She's sticking up for all the sluts of the world, y'all. So she's got to do it. Call from area code 562. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? With that husky laugh.
This is Sybil from New Mexico.
This is Sybil from New Mexico, and she needs a 9-volt battery. What's on your mind?
Oh, my phone's pretty dim. No, I was just responding to some of the comments that really kind of upset me. I listening to you as you talk to the ladies, I understood what you were saying. But in my experience when I was younger, okay, I told this one dude I had 2 kids and Section 8, his fucking eyes lit up. And I was in my 20s. It was like, oh no.
He told you that. He told you that you had 2 kids in Section 8. I mean, you told him.
No, I told
him I got 2 kids and I'm on Section 8. Okay, go ahead.
And his eyes lit up. And his eyes lit up.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
No, but so that was when it was like, hey, you're off the table. And so for me, it has always been that way, that I've had to make it on my own and do it by myself, and perhaps like what you said.
And here's the issue. Whenever we hear that type of lunacy, how did it turn out?
As far as what? I never took any of them in. Are you kidding?
No. Okay. How did making it on your own turn out?
Didn't work. It worked out for shit. It did. I'll be honest with you. But there is that part of me that I worked so damn hard in my life, I wasn't going to let somebody take it from me or try to lay up on me. I've had too many men, especially black men, thinking I'm dumb enough to go fall for the bullshit because I'm not the pretty 30-year-old. I'm not the pretty 20-year-old. So they figure, since you're in the D range, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage.
Well, I mean, but here's the real issue. Here's the real issue. A woman should be asking herself, how is it that these are the quality? What quality of men am I attracting, and why is that the case?
Well, see, that was the part that killed me, because I'm thinking I have intelligent conversation. I can hold conversation with other people, with other men. Apparently, something about me that wasn't attracting it. So I thought maybe I wasn't pretty enough. So I went on from there.
All right, but there's the real question that every female needs to ask herself is, what quality of man am I attracting, and am I at the root of the issue? Because a woman by herself is completely imbalanced. She loses touch with everything. Femininity is something that cannot survive treading water in this world like this. It can't do that. Masculinity can. Femininity can't do it.
Okay. But I do have a question to ask you. Okay, you're making a good point. But if you keep getting the same type of crap over and over, and you're doing your damnedest to bring yourself forward, to let go of the things that are holding you back, and yet and still, I'm getting the same thing or something similar.
You're getting what same thing?
In other words, like I would get somebody say, "Oh, you're intelligent and blah blah blah, and you know, a really good conversationalist," and next thing you know, you're trying to either move in or get me to do
okay,
shit.
but
no.
Sybil, didn't you start off by saying you had in your early 20s, you had 2 kids and you were on Section 8?
No, I was making a joke about it because I thought it'd make the guy go away.
Okay, did you actually have any children?
No.
Okay.
And I wasn't on Section 8. I was working 2 jobs at the time.
Okay.
So I figured if they let go to kind of, because once you say that to a guy, usually you're like, oh shit, 2 kids, Section 8, and they leave. Homeboy's eyes lit up. It's like, oh shit.
I mean, but here's the issue, though. Slow down. Here's the issue. What were you doing for a living at the time?
Okay, I was working for the post office, and I had another part-time job at a fast food place.
Right. So you were working at the post office in a fast food place. And about how much were you making a year?
At the time, probably about that time ago, probably about $35,000.
Right.
But my transmission died, and I had to pay for it.
Right. So here's my question for you. What quality of man do you think a female making $35,000 a year should expect to have?
About 30, 40 years ago, someone that's at the same. But like if I would go to college mixers or where much more intelligent black men were, I'd be kind of bypassed.
Right. So when you're seeing the same reaction everywhere, there's only one common denominator. What it probably means is that the things that you were emphasizing in your life that you thought made you valuable, those things you were emphasizing did not actually increase your value to men. They were things that increased your value to an employer and made you a strong, independent young lady. And independent just simply means she can pay her own rent. Okay, you're able to tread water, but it's not attracting a man who's going to sacrifice for you. So you will attract low-level, low-quality males. But the higher quality males who can actually align with you and improve your life, they're going to be like, yeah, bypass.
Okay, because of who I was or how I was being? Is that pretty much it?
Well, here's the real issue here. Have you ever had men say that you don't strike them as particularly feminine?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again? My damn phone is.
Yeah. Have men ever told you
that?
Men ever told you that you don't strike them as particularly feminine?
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't strike men as particularly feminine, even though they can see you're a female, then basic deduction tells you what? The men who are going to sacrifice anything, they don't think you're the best representative. And the lower level males are going to be like, well, she ain't very feminine, but I know one thing she can do, even if she doesn't present that way. So guess what? That basically everybody's going to be looking to see about utility because they don't see where there are any other attributes.
Even if I'm dressed as a woman and I have the makeup and the earrings on, they're saying that I'm not feminine enough.
Ma'am, it depends on how it looks. I mean, if you come in rumbling through the door looking like Big Mama Thornton, I don't care how much makeup you're wearing.
Oh no.
Well,
I'm usually kind of low key. I'm not out there showing ass.
Okay, but I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you're not looking, even after doing your makeup and your hair, if you're not looking particularly feminine, yeah, I mean, there are levels to this. So yeah, if you're not presenting very well, then yes, that is going to affect how men respond to you. And you might be trying your damnedest.
How in the hell is this?
You might be trying your damnedest.
I mean, how in the hell do I
ma'am, Life is,
Shit.
listen to me, life is not fair.
Okay, I'm listening.
You might be trying your damnedest. Tarana Burke, I don't give a damn if she wakes up tomorrow acting like Coretta Scott King. She is still going to get bypassed. Negroes are still going to be having car wrecks swerving around her. That's exactly what it's going to be. She doesn't have a choice in the matter. So what I'm saying is life is not fair in that regard. So you
Right.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. You might have been trying your damnedest, but that may not actually matter at all. That's the issue.
Shit. And how in the hell do you become more feminine? Shit.
I mean, there's first of all,
How in the hell else?
well, first of all, make sure that you are not man-sized. Second of all, make sure that you are bringing all the things a man does not have.
I mean, but I have good conversation. Unfortunately, I am man.
Okay, I want you to understand something.
I'm 5'8", and I'm built
I
like
want
a
you to
man.
understand something
So-
here, okay? Guys like me, and don't get me wrong, conversation, being able to converse, that certainly is helpful. Males like me,
Right.
yeah, I mean, that certainly is valuable to men like me, but let's be also very clear about something else. And I'm just going to say this straight like it is.
Okay.
Ladies, most of what y'all have to say, we don't want to hear. Women really, because here's the thing. Women's version of conversation really only goes in two directions. Number one, she wants to vent about her day, or she wants to vent about something. When men talk, we want to have communication about fixing something. If there's a problem, we want to know how it can be resolved. Women don't do that. You all will come here and tell us, I went to the job today, the boss is a jerk, he's an idiot. This woman came in there with cancer, and some of these cars set on fire in front of the place. Well, you know what the man is thinking? Okay, check the boss or leave. Send a woman to an oncologist. Did you call the fire department? And the woman is like, you're not listening to me. This is how crazy women are. You all will say that, and then we're like, okay, we respond like that. And you say, you're not listening to me. This is how what I'm saying is that this borders on narcissism, but the way females present themselves today, you all think you're supposed to just talk to men in that manner. And what I'm saying is that that's the reason why, for the most part, mostly when women talk, if we didn't initiate the conversation, we don't really want to hear it, because that's what you all converse about. And don't get me wrong, there is a time and a place for it, and there is a setting for it, but just understand, you can't really approach us in that manner because we know what's coming. It's going to be, usually it's going to be,
so even if I don't start off that way, they think I'm venting.
Brake pedal.
I'm going to end up venting.
Brake pedal.
Got it.
That's the first thing. The second thing is teaching. Women generally don't teach us anything. They generally want to lecture. And usually they're not trying to teach anything. So it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where you start talking, and it's not really to teach anything. A man can't really name the last time that a woman sat down and got him gamed up about something. Now, there are things women can do about that, but it's not really going to be a regular everyday thing.
Right.
Generally, men are the ones who game you all up. We're the ones who upgrade you. It usually doesn't go in reverse. You all game up and upgrade the children. But for men in general, if a woman's constantly having to game up and upgrade a man, he's usually incompetent. So the men who do need you for that, he's usually incompetent and cannot lead. So if you're dealing with a man who can handle his own business and lead, he doesn't need you to lead him or game him up. And he's not really interested in you approaching him with venting. So if you want to know why it is that men generally respond that way, that's the reason why. We don't hear a conversation with you the way that you do. When you talk to us, you're going to get new insight, new information. You're going to get new avenues. That's what you get when you speak to us. Generally speaking, to females, we don't get that. It becomes a session for getting in touch with her feelings specifically, not even our own. She doesn't even want to talk about ours. She wants to talk about hers. And there's where that usually goes.
Okay.
So that's only going to be a select audience. A guy who's already interested in you, he will spare that kind of time because he knows at the end of this conversation, something else is going to happen. To a man who doesn't know you, we don't really look to converse with women like that. We talk about mechanical things. We talk about political things. We talk about aggressive things. Females generally don't discuss that. And the ones who do, a chick running around talking about cars or God almighty sports or a female talking about rappers. That's not sexy to us.
They run like little ill.
Well, I'm saying, well, you men talk about that. There's nothing more unsexy than a woman sitting up talking about sports and rappers. There's nothing more unsexy than that. It isn't. But when a female does, so, I know what you're saying. It sounds like a catch-22.
I did find out that when I
okay,
kept
what
my
you're
mouth
doing
shut,
now is a problem.
I was bypassed.
What you're doing now is a problem. Talking over a man is a problem.
I'm sorry.
Okay, talking over a man is a problem.
Don't rip me up. I'm
This
sorry.
is nice as it's gonna get. Talking over a man is a problem. I'm just letting you know. Those are things that while
Gotcha.
men will not tell you this, especially if you're good enough to lay up with, they're not going to tell you this because he understands your ego is running wild. Because you should be smart enough to see when a man is not genuinely interested in you. You should be able to see that in a matter of seconds. Okay, but if you're still there, the fellow's like, okay, I don't really give a damn about what you're talking about, but maybe this will be my layup for the evening or the next week or next month or next year because fellas play the wrong game. But the point is, as far as a man committing to you, this isn't an environment that would be welcoming to do that. That's the problem. So only a certain type of man is going to respond the way that you're looking for.
Well, then how in the hell do I become more feminine? Because usually if I keep my mouth shut, then I know they're not interested and I don't say shit else. So
well,
I'm like, okay,
no.
next.
Here's the thing. If you want to converse about use your powers of conversation to converse about what the man wants to talk about.
And sometimes I can tell when they're not interested if I ask them, well, how you doing? What's going on? What do you like? And it's like I've thrown,
No,
like
your
I've
job.
dropped my clothes and thrown my body at them and whatnot.
Okay, well, I don't know where you're meeting these people at, but what I'm saying is that type of thirsty energy tells me you're in the wrong places constantly. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
But the second thing I'm going to tell you, though, is that you need to be cognizant that when you talk to a man, you really just want to lay up the ball and you really want to get him talking. You don't want to be sitting there talking.
Okay.
If you want a man to be interested in you, you show you're interested in him. You use your powers of conversation to draw answers out of him. And once he sees that you're listening to him, now he takes an interest. Because when men, most of the time, we feel like you all aren't listening to a damn thing. It's very easy. All these females who are worried that men don't take them seriously, regard them. Yeah, because you want to talk about your feelings. You're not really listening or interested in what all this talk from the women about y'all need to listen, and they're not listening to what we're saying. And then they want us to lead and take on a bunch of liabilities, but it needs to be all about, ingratiating her. So what I'm saying is your powers of conversation should not be used by you to talk. Your powers of conversation should be used to ask questions and get the man to talk to you. Once he starts talking to you, he's going to let his defenses down, and that's what helps. Now, everything else, let me ask you one question, 3 questions here. Number 1, how old are you?
Do I have to say? I'm too late for that. I'm way out of that bracket. I'm 62.
Okay. All right. Well, what you need to do is go find you a 78-year-old, and you need to go holler at him.
I guess so.
And hopefully one in good shape, because he needs to go up there and go change that battery in that smoke detector.
Yeah, my phone is special. It's old and special.
Okay, it's not about the phone, man.
All
That's
right.
the smoke detector.
I got your point. That's why I kind of responded that way, because I'm sorry, here I am speaking over you.
Okay, well, the smoke detector,
I
man.
had to survive on my own. And so it did change how I looked at things. And I see your point now.
Well, that's the whole reason you probably need to send, I don't know, Sybil, if you haven't sent me one for the last train leaving, you probably need to send me an email for the last train leaving. Because here's the real issue. You all can't jump up at 40 years old and then say, okay, now I'm going to stop acting like a young brat. I'm going to stop being disagreeable. I'm going to stop running off the men who fool with me for real. Now I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to do. You all can't just jump up at 40 and say, okay, all that stuff I refused to do when I was 25 or 30, now I'm going to prioritize that. I won't be a disciplinary problem. I won't be prickly. I'm not going to be defiant. I won't be resistant. Oh, here, take me. I'm 45 years old. I'm 50. I'm 60. Here I am. Really?
Yeah, that's true. Because they run like scalded dogs.
Ma'am, here's the killing part. They've been running.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just start running at 62. They've been running since you were 30.
They've been running since I was 20.
They've been running since they were running since you were 32 at least. But now it's just at this point right now, the problem with females is that females do not listen, don't take men seriously until the phone stops ringing. When the phone stops ringing, then they take it seriously. But as long as that damn phone is ringing, what I've always taught you all, women know that when they're in their 20s, sex comes with resources. Sex comes with tangibles. Sex comes with commitment. As you get older, sex comes with nothing. It gets decoupled from all those tangibles. But you all have the perception, as long as the phone is ringing and there is sex being offered, maybe now that I'm more desperate, maybe I can work the magic and get something else. I got a different idea. How about get the fella who fools with you for real and say, look, nigga, let's sit down and get this together now before I age out the damn game. Why don't we get this together now?
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Unfortunately, I never did find one like that.
You probably
I found the ones coming by looking for.
You probably ran.
Like
you probably ran off 3 or 4 of them in 40 years, ma'am. You probably ran off 3 or 4 of them.
I'm sure I did. I look back now, I'm going, duh.
Yeah, there's probably 3 or 4 of them, and they're just like, all right, we're good. Either she doesn't recognize it,
the girl's crazy,
or she's fooling with some fellas who them dudes is sketchy, but she got a taste for that right now. So the serious men are like, yeah, you're not wife material. You're not ready. And then they wake up in their 60s, and it's like, that's the part that's sad. You know, we used to have a bunch of grandmothers who had grandfathers and had men with them. Now we just got a bunch of old ass single chicks with pets and plants. That's what we got now.
Right.
A bunch of lonely old single chicks with pets and plants.
And nobody's with friends with little babies anymore.
Well, I mean, but they're not
They're all grown and look at you like you're crazy.
Well, and now in this socioeconomic environment, your kids got to make it on their own, so they don't have time to sit here and go play with mom or grandmama like that and everything. They're too busy trying to pay for these outrageous ass gas prices and rent. So that's not happening. So what I'm saying is that now more than ever, it is important and crucial for females to knock this nonsense off. All these childhood trauma issues where men are your enemies and this, that, and the other, and then they wonder why men don't fool with them for real. Yeah, a fellow with something to lose is not going to commit to a female who's like, I need to protect myself. Well, okay, then the fella needs to protect himself too. Here's the problem. It's cost you so much more because a woman only has a limited window of time to get a man to commit to her for life. She only has a limited window of time. Once you cross over into your late 30s, God help you if you get into your 40s, you don't have the ability to bear children. So in other words, why would a man marry you at that point? Why? What is he going to get from you at 40 that requires him to marry you? That's the issue. If you're over the age of 40, or in your case, heading towards Golden Girls, once you get to that point, what I'm saying is, why does he have to marry you? There's nothing he's going to get from you marrying you that he's not already getting now. There are no children to legitimize, and he's not trying to raise any with you. So why would he go through all that extra expense and trouble to do that? So what I'm saying is that's a young woman's game. Being a stay-at-home mom is a young woman's game. Being a kept woman is a young woman's game. These are things for young women. Young women can be kept. Young women can be taken care of. Young women can do that. Y'all can't sit up here and be like, let me play around and mess around in my 20s. And then when I'm senior citizen age, okay, let me go ahead and act like the men are still thirsty.
Oh, no, that's not that. I won't play that one. I'm honest with that one. That one I already know. It's like that. Like I say, that ship has sailed.
Well, like I say, definitely, I would suggest that you make sure you're a size 6 or less and make your way down to the Mason Hall. Some of them dudes in the Masons, they hey, look, his pension done come in, and he done finally got that Mercedes he wanted, and he's looking for a hot young thing like you. So,
want me to take care of him too. I already had one of those already.
A Mason looking for you to take care of him? I don't think so. Not unless you was coming through real rough and husky. So I recommend you go down to the Mason Bingo Hall, go holler at them, look for that compass on the. If you see a fellow with a compass on his damn license plate, that's the one right there. You need to go holler at him. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. You need to send me your email, Sybil. You've been calling me for a minute. You need to send your email for the last train leaving. Sybil, email me. Last train leaving. Let me get called from area code 214. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Winston from Dallas.
Winston from Dallas. What's on your mind?
Hey, I want to thank you for Jill and Cynthia. And this is directed to the brothers on the call. Man, I'm telling you, we have our own selves to blame for those two ladies. They've done nothing wrong. You get what you get, brothers. Those ladies can do whatever they want to do. It's up to you. You are the one that pick the woman. That it's not a judgment against Jill, but at a PTA meeting, I would be mortified if that was my wife. And she's done nothing wrong. But if you marry a stripper, if you marry a lady that's her profession, then you got to respect her profession and not tell her how to dress, because she dressed like that when you met her. So when you go for a big butt and a smile, you only have yourself to blame. I know it's easy to judge those two ladies, but they've done nothing wrong. They've been true. They've been more honest than the guys that they're with. That guy that's the fireman, he doesn't even probably know that his woman is on a call with Jason Black talking all that smack. He'll never leave that man. He'll never leave that woman. He picked her because of how she looked. And as you have seen, as Jason's displayed, I can't believe Jason was so patient. Jason, you're getting kind of soft because you're really nice to those ladies. You really got.
Well, here's the real thing. Everybody knows my positions on these things for the most part. My real thing is to be able to get them to express theirs. Because everybody knows, I mean, like I said, you can listen to me say it at any time. I mean, we could do that at any time. The real thing is, I appreciate their honesty. There's nothing for me to smack down on. What am I supposed to do? Sit here and run them through the ringer for that? You know, like I said, I mean, I have the kind of discussions I want to about that. It's not like they're being belligerent. You know, what am I supposed to sit up here and do? Tell her, okay, you need to leave your husband? You know, it's just the way I see it, because I think that's the way it is basically the real thing is to have a conversation so people can hear what's happening in the real world and let them speak their minds. I think that's the most important thing, because this is what's really going on. And that's the way I think it should be approached. I really think that men should be, what you're saying there is that we just need to have our ears open. If men will actually listen, they'll tell you exactly what they think. They'll tell you exactly what they think. But if you're not really listening, if you're only staring at them like, okay, it's like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. I'm not paying no attention to what she's saying. At the end of this, if there's some sex involved, sitting here listening to this babble is the cost of getting it. Okay, and let's be honest, 80% of the guys are running around here doing that. That's the way they're approaching it. They're not actually listening to anything. These are things I already know. I don't think anybody at this point needs me to explain that to them. These are things I already know. I want everybody else out there to understand what they're listening to, because it can sound a little deceptive. When I talk to Cynthia, for example, the way I'm looking at it is, if you're because I got guys who call me up, they're 21, 22, 23, 24 years old. Have they asked those questions? I think the most important thing that a young male can do when he meets a female is ask her about her exes. You need to find out where she's been. If she is 22 years old and was dating a guy making $500,000 a year, and he's a 47-year-old making $500,000 a year, you need to know that. That's not optional information. You need to know that. And if she's 27 years old and done slept with 30 guys, you need to know that too. Well, she's only slept with 4 fellas. Okay, I need to know about those 4. Tell me about them. Who was he? How old was he? Where did he live? What did he do for a living? What did he aspire to? And if you start seeing a pattern, well, first one was a dancer, the second one was the first one was a dancer, second one was a drug dealer, the third one was a college student, the fourth one was a handyman. It's like, okay, I'm noticing a pattern. That is your job to calculate that and catalog that in your head. I notice a pattern. Young men need to do that, but because they hear females say this kind of stuff all the time, but they're not taking notice of it. Because he's like, okay, I didn't know that was important. What Cynthia said was actually very accurate. Well, we're 25 years old. What are you expecting us to have done by now? What I'm saying is in the year 2022, at 25 years old, I'm expecting to see competence out of everybody. You can't be a 25-year-old today banking on potential. Sorry. The dollar has dropped too much in value. The economic environment is too unforgiving. The rent is too damn high. You can't be 25 years old in the New York, New Jersey area talking about I'm skating along and having fun and I'm banking on potential. You can't do that. You can't do that because you and I know where this inevitably goes. They're cool with this when they're 25, but you can already see she's already lost patience for it. So the next dude she hits up, she's letting you know, oh, the next one, oh, I'm going to be on his ass to produce. And he won't even really recognize what he's producing for or why. Why is she so dogmatic about this? And in her case, if she doesn't know how to even talk to him properly, she's not going to get it anyway. So I'm just asking the questions. Now, I think it goes down easy. Doing the Black Ayatollah thing has its place. Don't get me wrong. There is a place for that. I think it's more important to simply have a conversation where these females, where the women are allowed to say what they honestly think and how they honestly feel about it. And then fellas can hear that. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. That's the other thing right there. I don't really see an issue with it. I can't ask somebody. It's one thing when somebody calls me up to dispute me. I can't ask somebody, what do you think about this? Or where do you stand on this? And then say, you're wrong. I can't do that. So if it sounds different, that's because we're asking them what they think. They're not calling up to ask me. If they do ask me, I'll go ahead and educate them. But these are more, we're doing the teaching thing over here now. We're doing a teaching thing over here.
No,
in the real world.
I appreciate that.
I think you can tell by the way they talk. The
add,
ones who do a bunch of talking and stuff, they're probably not listening. I think you know this, that in a lot of cases, when I talk to them, they listen. This isn't the usual manosphere nonsense where they're sitting around flinging feces at each other. When they come over here, I think you actually find people do more listening. Now, they might leave and come back a few weeks later all salty and angry, but I think that they learn something. We'll see if it does them any good in the future.
Can also add, Jason, to the young men out there, testosterone is a dangerous drug. And I'm telling you, brothers out there, go to the gym, work that stuff off, work on your purpose, because your libido is going to get you into more trouble with women like that if you don't figure out a way to harness that energy, either start your business or get your CDL or whatever it is you got to do. But focusing on, I'm talking about the young men, is that will have you producing baby mamas at a rate that will make your eyes fall out. Do lose some weight, get in the gym. If you feel that horny because these ladies like this, they will chew you up and spit you out and you'll never know what hit you. That's why I've said Jason is saving lives. If you see how they're going to play you, you're that pump and dump that they're going to deal with those guys, if they're going to get pregnant. And if you don't better yourself before that happens, I just think, and I say testosterone, you know what I'm saying? An out of control libido will have you doing things so out of character. And then you have that they call it that post-nut clarity, right? Where you think, what have I done? And it's too late, brothers. If you're 21, 22, 23, 24, and you haven't worked on your purpose, like Jason's always admonishing you, get your paper straight, get that, and then get all these girls pregnant after you got a couple of $1 billion in the bank.
If you have a purpose, you're supposed to be using your 20s as a male to define your purpose in the world. You get knocked around, you see what's out there, and then you decide what direction you're going to take things in. That's what makes you valuable as a man. If you're focused on chasing females to try to make up for all the sexual access you didn't have in grade school, that's the definition of distracted. You're supposed to be using this time to validate yourself, to learn, to upgrade yourself, to enrich yourself, to become the most capable man that you can be. And then the females take care of themselves after that. Because the real point is the more valuable you are, the more choice and selection you'll have. You focus on running the streets like the females do, and then you end up with no choices and no selections, and you just got to take whatever you can get. And nothing destroys your self-esteem and value more than that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 281. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, this is Tony from Houston.
Tony from Houston, what's on your mind?
Well, Jason, I listened to a good portion of it with the two ladies, and then the one from New Mexico that just called in a few minutes ago, 62-year-old. Women are masculine today. I cannot believe how masculine these women sound today. And I have never heard a woman from New York State that calls your show that doesn't sound like a truck driver. I don't understand how men in New York State pick a woman, because they all sound like truck drivers, bartenders, and I mean, they sound terrible. They don't sound feminine at all. But I called also to say to these women that were your guests tonight, and women who are listening to them, and young women, y'all not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You know the statistics as well as I do, Jason, about the rent. The dollar is falling. The United States is going bankrupt. The debt level, they're going to start cutting back considerably on everything that Black people in the social realm have had to themselves, primarily also with poor whites. The immigrants are pouring into this country like water through a sieve, and they are going to need untold amounts of money to make it in this country. And it's going to be the money that the government takes from the Black people, and they will give it to the immigrants. We already see what's occurring in New York State, in New York City, and what's going on in other cities. Now we're having a busing and flyover race with the southern states to Washington, New York State, and I understand that there's 2 plane loads of immigrants that have been unloaded in Martha's Vineyard, where former President Obama lives. This is getting dirty, and they're taking no prisoners. So the 2 women that you had on your show, especially the 25-year-old, she's not going to make it cutting hair. No retirement money, you owe nothing, you have no benefits, no pensions, no health care. You'll be lucky if you can die on a mattress. And no one will stay 25 and 30 years old forever. One day you'll be 38, 39, 40. Your ankles will swell. You're sick of commuting. You're tired of bosses and attitude and customers and reports and evaluations and everything. You're sick of it. But guess what? You're all alone. And if you want to eat, if you want to watch Netflix, you better work, baby.
For whatever is left of you there. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here, Tony. On Zoom, you need to start your video over there. You've been asked a few times. You need to start your video. We're not going to let you on without it. Let me get caller from area code 951. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is. I don't want to say my name only because
okay,
my
I need to have a name, so it's not. I can't just call you Hey You. So you don't have to use your real name, but you have to use a name.
Well, my significant other listens to this, and he's not listening tonight. But
it's going to be recorded. It's going to be recorded. So if he does listen to me, why can't he listen to the playback of it?
Okay, but he's working tonight.
Okay, well, choose a name for yourself. Otherwise, I'm not going to know who.
Okay, my name is Sarah.
Okay, hello, Sarah. Where are you calling from?
It's the whole 50-50.
Okay.
Is if he listens to you constantly, then he would know how to do this, but he doesn't. And the whole 50-50 is I take care of everything, meaning our child together, meaning the household together, and he takes care of his other baby mama shit. So coming to agreement with all of this is you get sucked into stuff not knowing what it is at first, and then you come to ground with, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that.
Okay. Did he have children when you met him?
Yes.
Then that's what you bought. Of all the men who were available, you had the option of choosing somebody who wasn't a jailbird, didn't have any children, was ambitious. You chose one who already had a situation. So whatever it was that led you to desire him of all people so badly, I mean, you made that decision with your eyes wide open. How can you be upset with him?
I'm not upset. What I'm saying is it's never 50-50.
You sound like you're okay, that's what I'm saying, but it was never 50-50 from the very beginning. But you wanted the man who was going to not give you that. So it was never that. That's not something that just happened. You chose a man who couldn't do that.
As you go into a relationship, isn't it supposed to be that?
No.
Why?
No, that's the whole, because of the displeasure and discontent that you're articulating right now. That's the reason. That's the reason you don't do that.
So he's not supposed to be a man, as you say, and do that?
No, man. I mean, it's not like there's a factory that creates men, okay? It's not like there's a store or a factory that's cranking out the best and most valuable and competent men. You are depending on a lottery system. With all these single mamas of the last 40 years, you have a bunch of males who've grown to adulthood who are corrupted and completely devoid of manhood. But however, we got to take a look at you. You're the one whose judgment led you to him. Why? Why did you have a preference and a taste for that?
Better.
Okay, but why did you have a preference? Why did you have a preference and a taste for somebody who was already a baby daddy to another chick? Why did you have a preference for that?
We were together 20 years ago.
Okay, why did you have a preference and a taste for that, ma'am?
Because I thought he was going to do better.
Okay, you thought wrong. You didn't have any proof that that was actually real. So that was something that you wanted. And what you thought was, well, if I want it bad enough, then he should also want it. As opposed to looking at him objectively and saying, is this a go-getter who wants a better life? What was he doing for a little? How old are you now?
I am in my 45.
Okay. You met him when you were 25. What was he doing for a living? What was he doing for a living at 25?
I don't know, because I met him and I left. And then I met him again.
Okay. How old were you when you met him again?
Almost 30.
Okay. When you were 30, what was he doing for a living?
He had a career, he had everything, but he came into this relationship as he was going to do good, and I haven't seen nothing.
Okay, but you said that when he got with you, he already had a kid. So you got him after he was with somebody else and had liabilities.
Right.
Did you have any children when you Did you have any children when you got with him?
Right, I had 2.
Okay, so now you got to get in where you fit in. So what do you think are your options in this? What type of man do you think is looking for a 45-year-old female with 3 kids?
I've been with him for 10 years and no marriage.
Ma'am, what is the incentive for a man to marry you under these circumstances?
Why not?
Let me ask again. You tell me. You're the person asking the question. What is a man's incentive to marry you?
I have everything. I don't pay for anything.
Okay. What is it that a man is going to get from a 45-year-old female with 2 kids that he can't get not marrying you?
I make 10 times more than an average woman and him.
Okay, but what kind of man do you think that impresses your income? What kind of man do you think is impressed by your income or attracted? What type of man do you think is attracted to your income? Okay, let's not talk over the host. What type of man do you think is attracted to your income?
A lot.
Okay, I'm asking again. What type of man do you think is attracted to your income?
Every man out there that has everything going for them and us together.
Okay, so you think that a man who makes $300,000 a year is attracted to you because of your income?
I make almost 5.
Okay,
So
how does that help him? How does that increase your value and attractiveness to
why
a
can't
man?
we come together as one?
Because
50-50,
he's
as you said?
because he's not lacking anything. He's already got finances straight, nor does he depend on you financially.
No,
So your
no,
income is irrelevant.
He does, but he does.
No, the male you're
This
with,
is a
the male
listener
you're
that
with
you-
does. The male that
No, this
you
is a
qualify,
listener that
ma'am, the
listens
male
to
that
you
you're with
100%.
does. Ma'am, the man that you are with needs it. The type of man I just described does not need it. So the one that you qualify for, yeah, he needs that. The one I was talking about, the one that you want to get with, doesn't need it.
Why?
Because, as I said, he's already financially affluent and stable on his own. He doesn't need you to come patch together any financial holes for him. He's already good.
Why does it need financially? Why isn't it worth more than financially?
Because
Together for
because there's
somebody.
only so much money that a man needs. So once he's already financially stable, your money is a non-issue. It doesn't increase or improve his life.
Oh, it does. Believe
No,
me.
no, no.
I
The
take care of
male,
him,
the dependent
his
male that you're with. I'm talking
and
about the
my
men that you want to be with, ma'am. What about the men you want to be with? They don't care about your income.
Says who?
Okay. Have you been drinking?
No.
It sounds like you have.
No, I just want to know where you're coming from because there's
Okay.
no.
I've already explained it 3 times,
It's-
ma'am. A affluent, competent man does not care about your income. He cares about everything else. Are you a clean slate? Do you have a good attitude? Are you young? Do you have
Of
good
course.
looks? And are you coachable? Ma'am, how old are you?
I just told you I'm going to be 43.
Okay, you're not young. Not at all. You just sat here and said a bold-faced lie. You're not young.
Wait a minute and let me look at you.
Ma'am, you're not young.
Exactly.
You're over middle age. You're not young at all.
But that doesn't mean I can't get somebody else.
No, you can get sex. You just can't get a man who's going to produce for you.
That's not 100%.
Ma'am, if you could,
Correct.
why are you not with him?
Why am I not with who?
If you could get a man who will produce for you, why are you not with him? Why are you calling me up complaining about the one you have? Why are you not already with the guy who will do it if you could get him? She hung up the phone. I didn't hang up on her. She hung up the phone. So either the methamphetamines kicked in or something else. I'm going to take one more call here. Let me get caller from area code 708. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Sean. I'm in Bloomington, Illinois today.
Okay, Sean, and you're in where?
Bloomington, Illinois. Bloomington.
Okay, Bloomington, Illinois. What's on your mind?
So the people calling in talking about the women sound masculine and the women that was, all terrible, whatever. These producers you be talking about, that's men supposed to be producers. When men get off work, they be more tired than women. I'm sure you're gonna say because they do more work than women, but they overall just tired.
You think?
Like
men do
tired.
real work. So yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the work is a financial part. What about their character? Maybe the women sound masculine because they have character. They have other things going versus just being workhorses. Women have ideas they bring to the table. They want to do more and, be creators and all this. Men are supposed to support.
Okay, you're not. That's not, ma'am. What you're saying right now is hella masculine. And let me explain to you why. Because everything you just named is a woman being the financial leader and provider. There's nothing feminine about that. That's masculine.
Men are
Those are
produced.
masculine traits.
Okay.
Everything you just described are masculine traits. Do you hear what you're saying?
A masculine trait is, yes, I heard what I said.
Coming
sir.
up with financial ideas that benefit the household and elevate the household. That's what a man does.
I didn't say something to produce money, but women like me want to create things like, design shirts and stuff. Men are supposed to be motivators to women, and if I have an idea, you're supposed to tell me how to get to the destination of my idea.
Okay.
I can't even get no man to even help me do anything. What I'm trying to do. If I say
How
I want to do
old
something,
are
they're gonna
you?
see what's the benefit to them.
How old are you?
You know how old I am.
No, I don't. How old are you?
Sir, I'm 43.
Okay.
And with 43 years old, I'm
how
still
many
not
kids?
going to menopause.
How many
You
kids
also
do
talk
you?
about-
How many kids do you have?
I don't have any children.
What size?
I don't have any
What
children,
size do you wear?
Sir, I'm still at 198. I'm still a beast out here with it. I'm still a beast out here with it.
Okay, well, 43 years old and built like a donut. So that's the level of cooperation and deference you can expect from the men. They're taking a look at you.
Most of them like donuts.
Okay, it sounds like you don't like them though.
I don't like them because they not.
So the men who are competent, ma'am, the men who are competent are not attracted to a walking cruller. The men who are competent.
Why do you keep saying the thing with competency?
Because that's what you're complaining. That's what you're complaining about. But you're complaining about their lack of competence.
Because I want you to address it. That's why I'm complaining, because I need some addressing on it.
Okay,
sir.
here's my addressing on it. Mm-hmm. You are not an attractive option to a man with competence and character. He has something of value and he can get better. So unless you become a better option, then you're not eligible for the men that you want. You want those men, but those men don't want you. That's what has to be fixed.
Eligible to do what? All
those things that you are complaining about, competent men with character can do that. That's why you want it, but you don't qualify for them. That's the issue.
She was a character, sir. No.
Ma'am,
I don't feel that.
43,
wait.
Ma'am, at 43 and built like a milk dud, that's not, you're not anybody's prime option.
Look, what the thing you always talk about is producers, right? But what about the production of character? What about the support system behind that?
Okay, I will say this. I got a bunch of drunk chicks calling me up tonight. Ma'am, the bottom line is men who have character and competence are not attracted to you. So those men are very much out there. They're just avoiding you. You're being avoided. You're too old. You're too out of shape. They're avoiding you.
And that's your final answer.
They're looking. They're not looking for a 43-year-old. They're not looking for a 43-year-old size 18. They're looking for a 23-year-old size 4 or an 18. The only 18 they want is in age. They don't want an 18 in size.
And to show you that I'm listening, you said a 23-year-old that you can go ahead and mold and have children with. I hear all of that.
And 90 seconds.
These producers are tired, number one. Number two, somebody over 40 still ain't hit menopause, so they ain't gonna have no kid looking like E.T. after 40 years old. And you saying that I'm a donut, okay, whatever you want to say as far as that go, whatever, sir. All I'm trying to say is, what else do they gotta provide besides work and finances? I need to know some other than finances. And when I try to get
60,
I can't get that. It's more like, oh, if I help you, you're gonna do better than me. You know what I'm saying? Who does that?
Okay,
That's
first
what they
and
actually
look,
do.
bottom line is right now you need to look for a truck driver or a welder who fools with you for real. That's what you qualify for. Don't worry about competence and character. You need a nigga that's gonna answer the phone. He needs to show up for work and answer the phone for you. That's where you get in. All that extra stuff you trying to get, no, your t-shirt business, you better go get you an SBA loan. What you need is a fellow who's gonna fool with you for real. And if you fell down on the floor, he would help you get up.
Yeah, tell. Okay, on the show, I need to hear what is they supposed to be
10 seconds.
Ma'am, you
what
need
is
a
the high value man supposed
no.
to be doing
Okay.
besides finance?
Ma'am, don't you worry about high value.
It's something more than that in life.
No, ma'am.
But
You
it's something more than like the
listen.
finances.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You don't need to worry about high value.
Okay.
You need to worry about great value. You know, the brand in Walmart, that's what you need to be worried about. Don't worry about high value. You just worry about great value and shopping. Get you a fellow who will answer the phone, fool with you for real, and will maybe pick up your medications in 10 years, okay? But all the rest of the stuff you're talking about, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. All right, let me see here. Sage, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hopefully this works out here.
Brother Black, you got me good?
Okay, there you go. We can hear you there. All right, brother. Well, I had to take care of that right quick. All right, Brother Sage, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. So again, I'm a kid, Brooklyn, New York. A caller earlier, yes, the women up here are a little bit different. They can be, I guess, a little bit, different to deal with. But I think that as long as you're strict and you're stern on your ways, I think they can be submissive. But I called because I had a question, and it's about me personally. Again, I'm 32 years old. I make about $80,000 a year. I work for city government and went to college, graduated, and all. I have no kids, but I, have a car, my own spot. I wanted to know if you think I am currently like on the right track. Now, when I was in my 20s, I was making somewhere around 40,000. I was working at Walgreens. So now I have, a more legit job, 9 to 5. Do you think that I should continue in that direction, continue to make more? Again, with my job, I can triple my income within the next 3 years, which I plan on doing. But do you think that I should continue with that trajectory?
I mean, absolutely. Right now, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. As you all know from my chart of value, you're doing exactly what you should be doing at this point right now. So definitely you have your mind in the right place. You got it focused on the right thing, especially at the age you're at right now. You're just hitting that trajectory where you hit your stride. So all this work and focus that you're putting into it, the sacrificing, not running the streets and stuff and focusing on yourself and building yourself into the most capable man you can be, that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So yes, because at this point right now, you're at 80 right now. This next flop is going to be what puts you over. I talked to you all about the flops. You go from the 30,000, you flop over. It's like picking up a tire. You flop it over. When it flops over, now it's the 80 or 60 or 80. You're now from that 80, you flop it over again. Now you're over 150. Once you get to that level, now you can pick and choose your life. Now that you have solved the question of financial competence, you solved that one. Now you've done what most people, and you've done it in the age, most people are in their 60s or 70s and never solve it. And that's the majority of the people. If you can do all that in your 30s, the way I taught you all, brother, by the time you get in your late 30s, God help you in your 40s, you're picking and choosing and calling shots all over the place. So that's the real thing, is getting yourself into a position where you get to pick and choose your options. That your options are not dictated to you, that you've got the ability to make some choices. Maybe you can't get all the choices you want, but you're no longer having choices dictated to you. Okay, you can choose everything down here on this, like going to the state fair. You can choose all the crap down there on the bottom shelf. You can't get all the nice stuff up here. No, you got a choice of whichever shelf you want to go to. Now, maybe you can't get the big pink elephant, up there on the top shelf, but you can probably get the big brown teddy bear. You can probably get those. So it's about having the option, because there's a hell of a difference between that and being told, nope, you can't get anything. It'll be bottom shelf for you only. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Keep yourself in good shape. Keep yourself in good health. And just understand that your value comes from perfecting yourself. Your value comes from excelling. You want to be socially competent, physically competent, financially competent, intellectually competent. When you got those 4 legs of the stool, every woman is looking for that. They're all looking for that. All of them. ALL. As you heard on the phone tonight, from 16 to 60, they're all looking for that. When you got that, everything else falls into place. But what you want to do is get yourself into a position so that you're able to make choices, because you can't make those choices if you can't reward those who listen and punish those who don't. So right now, you're almost to a point where you're good, because considering where you live, $80,000 a year is working class. You really got to get that next flop over to escape that, even as a young man. But to escape that area, you really got to get that next flop over. Once you do, then we're talking something different. Now, if you were somewhere else, technically speaking, you'd almost be there now. But because of where you are, the economics don't work that way. But the next thing is to focus on that, and then now you'll be able to make choices. The other thing is you'll be old enough. It is great to be young. Don't get me wrong. I was young. Y'all know the story. I was 22 years old, making $250,000 and lost it. You know why? Because a young man don't know what the hell to do with that. He has no earthly idea. You know what I did? Y'all know, size 6 waist, size 12 ass. Yeah, that's what Jason Black did, okay? That's what he did at 22. But that's what you're going to do. You don't know what the hell to do with it. It's like, okay, it's an amusement park. I get to jump on all the rides I didn't get to jump on in the last 10 years. So I got some fun and sun to make up for. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't have any damn idea what you're doing. And then it happened again. So it's like Will Smith. Will Smith went broke 2 or 3 times before he finally got it right. You don't know what to do at 22 or 23. Experience and life are what teach you that for you. What got me straight may not get you straight. What drives me may not necessarily drive you. Experience and time give you that. You make enough mistakes, you start figuring out. I was watching the videos talking about machine learning. You all realize the machine learning basically is they run it through mistakes. Machines learn by mistakes, same way that people do. That's what we found out about. Machines learn by figuring out all the ways that things go wrong. From a very simple thing, like when they're running it through a maze, it runs into walls the whole time. Have you ever seen the thing where they flood the thing with balls? Each one of those balls basically is telling the machine what to do. They give it a goal, and then the balls are how the machine learns how to do it. It stops running into walls at a certain point. And then it makes it all the way through the maze on its own, yet it learned. But it learned from what? Its experiences. Amazing how most people can go through life for decades and didn't pick up a damn thing from their experiences. So in your case, are you doing the right thing? Well, as long as you're still focused on that goal, but what is the purpose of it? Let me find out, what are you trying to do exactly when you get to that point?
So within the next 3 years, I honestly want to buy a house, whether that be in Long Island or New Jersey, depending on, where at in Jersey. Because my job may prohibit certain things, but my goal next is to own land.
Okay, you're talking about in the real estate sense, or you just want to own some terra firma?
Well, I would want to own a house first. Real estate, maybe later on in life, but for right now, I just want to own a house because my family's from the South Carolina, so we have land down there, but I would rather myself. I've never owned a house myself, so I would like to do that.
I don't think that's a good idea in New York. I don't think that's a good idea there. I will tell you one thing. If I could make any suggestion to any young man out there, any young man in their 20s or 30s, I would advise all of you to have $1 million plan. Now, I'm not here to define for you exactly what that is, but that's the number you need to have in mind. With the rate of inflation and everything going up there, it really probably needs to be about 2 million, but all of you need to be having that in mind. All of you need to be focused on that. That's what's going to carry you. you're going to need, I don't care how much money you think you need right now. I assure you the number is probably 3 or 4 times bigger than that. I assure you the number is probably 3 or 4 times bigger, because like $80,000 a year, your tax burden isn't anywhere near what mine is. You're going to get broadsided when you get over $100,000 a year, and you're like, whoa, I didn't know they can clip 28%. I didn't know they could do that. Watch. Watch. Who do you think's got to pay for Bushika and the illegal aliens? So that's what I'm saying, is that once you get up in those numbers, man, things start to change. The higher up you go, the more treacherous it becomes. So whatever number you got in mind, I'm telling you, the number's probably 3 or 4 times bigger than that. But all of you need to be saying to yourselves, okay, how do I have $1 million cushion somewhere? I need to have a specific concrete million. I mean, the word is a million, not no 200,000. It needs to be a literal million. There needs to be $1 million you can put your hands on. Literally. Tying it up in real estate, I don't think that's necessarily the best thing unless you're really just knocking it down. And right now the real estate market is crazy. So in another year or two, it's probably going to fall down. But even then, is it best to buy to own or to invest in? And I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, New York is not my prime candidate. I would not be looking at New York as my prime candidate to invest in. I'd be looking somewhere else. But more important than that is getting your income up as much as you can. Getting your income as much as you can and saving as much as you can. Because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you retain. And right now, I know it's going to be difficult, but you really need to be retaining at least half of your income. Especially once you make this next flop, you need to be retaining half of it. And once you have that discipline, that's going to carry you. So right now, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. I would be more interested in that. Now, if you really want to go into real estate, you need to have some friends. You need to have some folk who can explain that to you. If you saw my documentary, Gentrified, Willie Suggs, she works out in Manhattan. But definitely, I recommend, if you don't have a realtor or somebody you're mobbed up with in that regard, you need to get one. You're making $8,000 a year, you need to start dating a realtor. I'm serious. I meant what I said. I meant the words I just said. Jason, date a realtor? Yes. You need to have her with you morning, noon, and night. Damn right. Absolutely. You can let her move in. The bottom line is she's having experiences to things. That's going to be a cheat code for you. Why should you go off and go spend all that time? Let her go ahead and do that, and then she can go ahead and bring the knowledge to you. And you're bringing the benefits to her of being a capable man. Capable people are supposed to get together. That's the problem with the world right now. A bunch of numbskulls are out here proliferating at an outrageous rate. The competent people are avoiding each other like the plague, and the numbskulls are out here getting together and causing all kinds of havoc. They're spawning at an absolutely terrifying rate. And the competent people won't even speak to each other. That's the issue. So yes, go date your realtor. Absolutely. But not one in real estate school, one who's already got her license. She's out there willing and dealing. That's what you need to be getting mobbed up with if you're going to go down that route, so that you have the ability to pick her brain full time. Absolutely.
Understood. I do want to throw this in too, Mr. Black, this caveat. Not just me, you helped my brother also, again, just get our lives together and have a mindset of tripling our income. I don't know exactly. I think you do, but just in case, I want to reiterate to you your importance to the Black community and what you do for young Black males out here, getting their lives together. I can't thank you enough for your tireless work on your other broadcasts as well as this. And again, just thank you for giving us the strength to speak out and be ourselves and to try to progress in life. So again, I salute you every day, my brother, and we love you.
Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. And like I say, put it into practice. You're doing good right now. I don't have anything to add to it except stay focused. Don't get caught up. Don't trip up. It's usually at times like this that something of a stupid nature happens, something completely preventable because we took our eye off the ball. Right now, you want to keep your eye on the ball, that next flop when you get over, then you start making some moves. But the people you ally yourself with right now, you're making money, work on your networking. You might be like me, and of course, you're from New York. People don't like people up there. I get it. I don't like people, period. But your networking is going to be very, very critical. especially to this next flop. Because once you get to 150, now you're going to want to take it up to 250. That's not going to happen if you don't have connections. That won't happen if you don't have connections. That's not going to happen. You're going to need other people to get past that plateau. You're not going to get past that on your own. You can't work your way past that. You're going to have to ally with other people. So you might be like me and don't like talking to people. Hey, take a look at me, what I do here all the time. You better figure out a way to do it. You better figure out a way. Otherwise, you're going to plateau and top out. You won't be able to work your way out of that. You're already about to max out the amount of labor you can put in and work you can do to get that income up. Now you're going to have to start working with people and start using their resources and start capitalizing off their efforts. But that's not going to happen if you don't know anybody who's resourceful or capable. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be the next order of business. Definitely do check back in with me here. I want to hear how things are going.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Those are important things for you all. It can be hard to do that. Only thing I did here was I put together a repository of information. And I want to thank the brother for his kind words. I appreciate that. I just want to put together a repository of information that I wish had been available when I was you all's age. When I was 20, 22, 25, 27, I wish this kind of information were available. I wish somebody was giving me straight answers, not happy-go-lucky fantasy answers. Give me the real damn deal. Hey, I want to get into real estate. Okay, do you know anything about it? No. Why don't you go date a realtor? Date a realtor? Dude, who was the last chick you dated? The girl at Wendy's? Okay, how'd that work out? Come on, get the hell past me with that. Y'all got a whole bunch of folks on your sexual rap sheets, and it didn't benefit you a damn thing. Okay, so let me get this straight. You only sleep with people you're only going to date people if it's not going to help your life. I am too scrutinizing to do. No, I only want to sleep with worthless people. Really? Okay. Really? Yes, I want all my past relationships to only be with the worthless ones. I would not soil myself with a valuable person. No, I would never do that. Okay. All right. I give you real world answers here. I give you real world answers. I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. Definitely thank you for tuning in here. I'm glad you all joined us. Oh, yeah, for everybody who contributed to support tonight's program here. Also on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. I saw you there, so thank you very much for your support as well. We appreciate that. I want to thank all of you for tuning in here. Good conversation here tonight. Can't wait to do this again here soon. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers talk crap about behind our backs. This is the place that has the conversations that nobody else does. You are definitely going to be guaranteed to learn something here. So click that red subscribe button, click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every week here. It is the adults here, not the teeny boppers. This is where the adults come to discuss things. So definitely go ahead and tune into that. And if you haven't joined us on Patreon, I'm going to be doing that here tomorrow, 12 noon Central Standard Time. So definitely be tuning in for that as well. Got a few things I want to discuss and go over there. Working on a couple of new workshops I want to work on as well too. So putting that together, of course, I want to make sure I have individuals who are competent and excellent at it. So looking at that as well. So go ahead and make sure you keep that in mind as well. Thank all of you here for joining us tonight. Thank you for liking the program. Thank you for sharing the program. Thank you for tuning in here live or recorded. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.